help build America into the greatest nation in the history of the world.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I know that usually this ends up being where we play games, we kick back, we relax, we have some fun. But tonight is one of those nights that we have to cover something. I'd rather just be having fun right now, but unfortunately, this country is under attack and we're losing rights, and that's not cool. So I invited my good friend, Brian, this evening to join me, and we're going to break down the recent New Mexico shit, I guess. So what's up, Brian?
Not a whole lot. Yesterday I saw this story, brought it up, and I was like, this is some bullshit, and I'm glad you did a little bit more of a dive into it, because this is making me really angry.
Yeah, and I think the part that's most concerning... Hang on. I forgot to do Rumble. I think the part that's most concerning is this is coming to a place near you and I. Like, we both have purple... I mean, yours is blue, but mine's purple. States, and this is gonna take place in our state soon.
I would not be surprised.
Yep. So, let's say hello, everybody, and then we will get right into it. Maybe. Right. Rumble's still not working, so it wasn't me. Talk for a second, and I'm gonna try and re-add Rumble.
Sure. Let's see. What is there to talk about real fast before Meat figures stuff out?
Never mind, I got it.
Okay, cool.
So let's say hello to everybody, and we'll get started. Jason J. We will talk about that. I know the sheriffs in the state absolutely refuse to enforce this, but how many regular unelected cops will? How many are willing to justifiably be Minecrafted when they trespass and try it? Fuck around and find out. Yeah, we'll get into it. Brian. Hello. Remember, cops chose not to force Plague 19 rules, so called cops from a different city and enforce them, and the government will find somebody who will do the dirty work. Dog Mama, hello. Thank you, composer. I found the worst picture of this bit. I mean, the best picture. Dazza, what's up, mate? Husky 89HU, what's up, man? Hey, Fiery. This is coming to your town too. You're in one of those bluish purple states, and there we go. I made my point. I'm turning off my camera because I can't see my fucking screen. Then I have to look around it, and it looks stupid. So, anyways, Josh Chandler. Everyone I know in New Mexico owns a gun, if not many on my mother's side of the of them. My mother's side of the family has a lot of people there. Huh. Well, it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on this and see what's going on from the ground and how they're taking it. So, what's up, Snafu over on Rumble and Dog Mama over on Rumble? Yeah, we'll probably get there. Uncle TJ was the head of the state, New Mexico State Police for 28 years or so. Would have told him to fuck off. Yeah, and I'm hoping that a lot of people tell them to fuck off. Amazing. I clicked on you, but then I don't think I said hello. So hello. And is it just the carry laws they're after? For now ish. We'll get into it a little bit more. The governor really seems like this is the first step to many, and that's going to be one of those things that this is going to definitely. This is definitely going to go further than it currently is. So we'll jump into a news story. I'm sorry, buddy. I hope you guys are doing as well as you could. So
Absolutely, I agree.
that's always rough,
Wholeheartedly.
man.
It's always the worst. Losing pets is the worst because they're
It
family.
is. They are, yeah. And it's, that that day is going to come. You're going to outlive them, but that doesn't make it any easier. So,
Right.
give them an inch and you never get it back. No, you give them an inch and they take 3 feet and you never get any of it back. So let's get into this article. I don't. This is the worst. This is a local news station. So, Santa Fe, New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham on Friday issued an emergency order suspending the right to carry firearms in public across Albuquerque and their surrounding county for at least 30 days in response to a spate of gun violence. The Democratic governor said she expects legal challenges, but was compelled to act because of recent shootings, including the death of an 11-year-old boy outside a minor league baseball stadium this week. How is that gonna?
At least 30 days.
At least.
Nothing more permanent than a temporary government solution, and I use solution in quotation marks.
Yep. Yeah, Newsom is trying really hard for that 28th Amendment, which again, I've given him credit for the fact that that's the way you're supposed to do it. If you want to remove an amendment or make a change to the Constitution, there's a constitutional process. I do not trust the voting system for it to be fair.
But at least he's going through the actual process.
At least he's going through the process, at least out front. So I commend him for not just being a dick and doing something like this, but still, yeah, that's not the direction of our country at all. I think I'm gonna get the statistics so I don't. Or how many weeks? Because it's a lot of weeks. Gun sales over $1 million for 34 straight months. So
$1 million per month?
Yes.
In just firearm sales.
And just firearms, not ammunition.
Not ammo, not holsters, not attachments, not anything other than
attachments, just firearms.
Just the arm themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of firearms.
That's a lot.
I love it.
Yeah, and 34 months, so it's going down. This is across the United States. So, but FBI background checks for May totaled 2,349,383, the third highest ever. And about half of those were issued. That seems weird. I don't know if half of them were. It seems like you should issue more than half. Sorry, I'm trying to read it.
You're good.
So yeah, tons of checks, tons of different things. And I don't use a ton of gadgets either, because gadgets break. I just want something that shoots clean and I can put in my pants.
Ooh, yeah, the pants thing. That one's always hard for me.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're Twinkie.
I am a twink.
Supreme Court has been spiking the ball back in their faces. I feel like this will be resolved quickly. Yeah, but we'll get into that as well. I don't want to jump too far ahead yet, but we'll get into that. What's up, Fast? Lujan Grisham said state police would be responsible for enforcing the amount of civil violations. Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina said he won't enforce it. And Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen said he's uneasy about it because it raises too many questions about constitutional rights. No shit. The firearm suspension classified as an emergency public health order.
Oh, real quick, remember where that sheriff who's uneasy about it, John Allen. Remember where he's from? Bernalillo County, something like that. Remember that county, because the next article that I had, the one that I sent you, specifically references that county.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Will do. So classified as emergency public health order. Now, us quote unquote conspiracy theorists have been saying this for a long time, that this emergency public health order was going to be the next thing, and it's going to be used for climate change. It's going to be used to take away weapons, and it's going to be used to chip away at our rights repeatedly until nothing's left.
Yeah, that's
Omaha
ridiculous.
Mayor just put out a similar executive order, and that's where we're going to get to. Is this is going to be copied by any blue state, and then probably any purple state to go with it, and you'll get the New York situation where they'll just change it slightly and try and redo it, and they don't care. We'll see. We're gonna play the governor's full press conference roundtable bullshit on this, and yeah, we'll see. They don't care about your rights at all. I know, D's. I'm watching it. They don't give one shit about your rights. They don't care. They don't care. None of this holds to Bruin. That's fine, Fast, but they're just going to keep doing it. Same thing that New York's been doing for 50 years. They just change it slightly, reinstitute it, and it takes a year to go through the court.
Right, like the Supreme Court can issue a stay, fine, whatever. Even if it's permanent, they're just going to change it slightly and call it a good day. That's what they did for all of the plague stuff.
Well, that's what New York's been doing forever. So they on firearms, they go back and forth, and there's nothing you can do about it, because and we've heard from this administration with Biden himself, they'd rather just do it and get challenged in the courts than than have to do it correctly. So this is going to be a mess that's gonna, and other places are going to take hold with this, and people are going to go to jail. People are going to lose livelihoods. People are going to feel threatened into getting rid of firearms. There's going to be buybacks, all that shit. Like, all that is irreversible. You don't get to go back and get it later. So we'll keep reading here for a minute. Applies to open and concealed carry in most public places, from city sidewalks to urban recreational parks. This restriction is tied to a threshold for violent crime rates currently only met by metropolitan Albuquerque. Yep. Democrat governors don't care. They'll take guns until SCOTUS decides, and we'll give them back when ordered. Yep, exactly. Hey, what's up, Digger? I saw you over on Rumble, but I hadn't gotten to a breath yet. So, Florida's done the same thing under Republican leadership until recently. Yeah, I don't think it's a red and blue thing anymore. I really don't. I think it's let's gut people's rights until they submit. I really do, and that's my personal opinion. But I think it's got rights until people submit, and it's going in their direction. Honestly, cough, cough, Michigan, cough, cough. Yep. Good luck. Police and licensed security guards are exempt from the temporary ban. Violators face civil penalties and a fine of up to $5,000, gubernatorial spokeswoman Caroline Sweeney said. Under the order, residents can still transport guns to some private locations, such as gun range or gun store, provided the firearm has a trigger lock or some other container or mechanism making it impossible to discharge. Hey, she was in danger for like 3 seconds, okay? Missouri's is a good one. I did. We're gonna get to that after the video. They know we can't do anything since we're divided. Absolutely, Snafu. Absolutely. There's not a damn thing anybody's gonna do because, oh, that's a black guy and we have to hate him. Yeah. It is, and they're failing again this time around. So, because that's already starting back up again. So, Lujan Grisham acknowledged that not all law enforcement officials were on board with her decision. No shit. Husky. Well, it's one of those. It's really makes a case for the national divorce. The problem with the national divorce is, one, it's not going to go well because it never just breaks apart peacefully. It's like a real one. And two, it's one of those where the way our country's divided is inner cities, big cities, and then everything else. So what are you going to do? You're going to move the cities to what? Give them California with literally everything, and then just to hell with everything else? Or I don't know how you do it efficiently. Like, you're going to be displacing, you're going to be moving, and you're going to have people that are going to be upset about where they are, or how it broke up, or how it was divided, and it's never going to be what you think or want it to be. I welcome the debate and fight about how to make New Mexicans safer. No, you don't. She said at a news conference flanked by law enforcement officials, including the district attorney for the Albuquerque area. John Allen said in a statement late Friday that he has reservations about the order, but is ready to cooperate to tackle gun violence.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, what? Yeah, no, I saw it. I was just...
No, not that. No,
oh.
The statement. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm ready to cooperate.
We're gonna watch how much she cooperates. Like, her press conference pissed me off. That's why this show happened. John Allen said in a statement late Friday that his reservations about the ban's order, but is ready to cooperate to tackle gun violence. Fuck you. While I understand and appreciate the urgency, the temporary ban challenges the foundation of our Constitution, which I swore an oath to uphold, Allen said. I'm wary of placing my deputies in a position that could lead to civil liability conflicts, as well as the potential risk posed by prohibiting law-abiding citizens from their constitutional right to self-defense.
How about the fact that you're placing your all your deputies in a whole lot of danger too?
Correct.
Because everyone's going to view this as unconstitutional. Every single person.
He just wants the the lack of liability. He wants to remove liability. That's what it says. Civil liability conflicts. So he doesn't want to get sued, which, spoiler alert. And he doesn't want any constitutional challenges. So he wants everybody to just be happy with it and say, yeah, whatever. So, and I just don't see that happening. So, enforcing the governor's order could also put Albuquerque police in a difficult position with the U.S. Department of Justice regarding a police reform settlement, said police spokesman Gilbert Gallegos. I don't think they're going to have any problem with Biden's Department of Justice.
No, you're going to get the FBI going after these people. That's just how it's going to happen.
Yep. All of those are unsettled questions, he said late Friday. Lujan Grisham referenced several recent shootings in Albuquerque and issuing the order. Among them was a suspected road rage shooting Wednesday outside of a minor league baseball stadium that killed 11-year-old Froylan Villegas and critically wounded a woman as their vehicle was peppered with bullets while people left the game. There are certain neighborhoods in Albuquerque where people take pot shots at their home. You're not taking the guns away from the residents there. They will protect themselves from the gangbangers and anyone who tries to take their firearms. Exactly.
Interesting. If they're getting their homes peppered, then it's also the people who are doing the peppering who will not give away their firearms either.
Correct.
My wife straight up has a bullet hole in her parents' house, so if she was walking down the stairs at the time that gun went off, she would have been shot.
Oh, wow.
It went through the door, through, and then into the staircase.
Wow. Damn.
You could put your finger in that hole. It's not a small hole. Like, it is like a 9mm hole. Like, your pinky will fit in it.
That's crazy.
So you know those motherfuckers were using some kind of fucking full metal rounds, right? They weren't even using hollow point. So you know that they didn't know what the hell they were doing either.
Yep.
Sorry, continue. The whole peppering a house thing triggers me a little. Yeah, I used that word.
Triggers. Kidding. Last month, 5-year-old Galea Samaniego was fatally shot while asleep in a motorhome. 4 teens entered the mobile home community in 2 stolen vehicles on August 13th and opened fire on the trailer. According to police, the girl was struck in the head and later died in the hospital. Okay, so both of those situations, if either of those people would have been stopped by police, they would have been arrested anyways, because I would assume they wouldn't have had legal right to have a firearm, correct?
The second set of people wouldn't have had the right to own a firearm. The 4 teens, they're teenagers. Teenagers can't own firearms. Right. I assume under the age of 18. I would assume that they would have said 4 adults or 4 people. Right. But 4 teens suggests that it's 14, 15, 16 age kind of area. Unless you're in Chicago, it's like 11, 12, 13. Like they're calling teens preteens, and they're doing the carjackings.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming it's that kind of age group that they're saying, and they wouldn't. This order is not going to do anything for them. Still,
correct. It's not going to. There's a juicy part at the bottom that really. We'll get to it. They need to arrest more criminals. That would help with the violence issues. You're damn right. No question on that one.
But Maga Mima, she's definitely a criminal, and she got 2 years.
That's true. Or sorry about your people, the Puerto Rican white supremacist, Enrico, whatever the hell his name is, that just got 22 years.
Yeah, what's his name? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. 20-something years
for... Tare? Is it Tare?
Torres. Enrique Torres.
Something like that.
Or something like that. Yeah.
So the governor also cited an August shooting death in Taos County where 13-year-old Amber Archuleta
Nice fire.
Torres. Yeah. Okay. A 14-year-old boy shot and killed a girl with his father's gun while they were at his home, authorities said. Jesus Christ. So it wouldn't stop
Wait,
that
it's
one
on
either.
his home. Again,
Holy
doesn't fulfill
fuck.
these orders. Again, if it was on the father's person, it wouldn't be in the home. Assuming it was a handgun.
Holy shit.
Again, does not apply. Fuck. I need a beer.
Grab me one too. When New Mexicans are afraid to be in crowds to take their kids to school to leave a baseball game, when their very right to exist is threatened by the prospect of violence at every turn, something is very wrong. Lujan Grisham said in a statement. Yeah, because you guys don't arrest shit. Tario. Yeah, Enrico Tario. The top-ranked Republican in the state Senate swiftly denounced the governor's action Friday to restrict guns as a way to stem violent crime. I bet you didn't do anything other than you probably sent a very stern worded letter. A child was murdered, the perpetrator still on the loose, and what does the governor do? She targets law-abiding citizens with unconstitutional gun order, Senator Greg Baca of Belen said. Miranda Vicoli, co-president of the New Mexicans to Prevent Gun Violence, applauded the governor's order as courageous and necessary step to curbing gun violence, even if the measure's legal fate is uncertain. No, it's fucking unconstitutional. There is no uncertain about this.
Well, no, it doesn't
It's
do
just
anything.
a matter of time before it's struck down in the courts. So help me God, or we don't have a country left.
The biggest problem is that it does nothing to actually curb the gun violence. Because almost every single one of those situations that they list is a person who probably isn't in their state legally allowed to own one.
Right. And I don't really give a shit if it's stopped gun violence altogether tomorrow. It's one of the very few things that is enshrined in our Constitution as a right. And the government is not there to tell us our rights or how we can exercise our rights. The government is there to protect our rights from them, not from... Frustrating, but I knew that was going to get there. So the government's there to not infringe on our rights, not to decide what our rights say. They're already clear. It's already there.
Right. It's a protected right. It's not a right that the government gives to us. It is one that they say you can't infringe on. A well-regulated militia is necessary for the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The only part of that I didn't fuck up was the right of the people to keep and bear arms.
Shall not
be infringed.
Shall not be infringed. Can we just make murder illegal and be done with it? Holy shit, Fast, you just solved the world's problems.
Moly. Whew.
Fast, you are a genius, brother.
That is
it is illegal. I'm hearing in my ear that it is illegal already. So they fucked that one up too.
Jesse, pull that up.
That's a good place to be. But this is the first to do this. Gives her 30 days to get away with this crap. TOJ does not work for the benefit of the American citizen. It does not. And
they should.
At least 30 days. And like we talked about in the opening of the show, good to see it, SSD or SDD. As we were talking about at the beginning of the show, this is something that at least 30 days. So they're never going to relinquish this power after they get it. And even if the courts strike it down, well, they're just going to change it. So keep doing it. That's true as well. Exactly. Yeah, I think if they're not scary and black, then that would probably help.
So my Hello Kitty My Hello Kitty Glock is going to be okay. Awesome. 10 out of 10.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's so simple. Shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. Any gun law is unconstitutional. Any gun law. Any.
Check your Discord DMs, apparently.
Okay, I'll figure it out in a minute. I'll have to look at it, but I certainly. So not be infringed. So we should add more gun laws. No.
Less.
No, there should be none. Miranda Viscoli. Oh, we already read that one. If it saves, where the fuck have we heard this before? If it saves one life, then it's worth doing. Viscoli said. Where the fuck have we heard that before?
Oh, so many places. I can't tell you a single place.
Wait, they don't want you to get shot now. So restricting it saves one life, but they did want you to get shot then, but forcing it made it save your life.
I have an idea. We have all the people take the gun-free zone stickers and stick them on the side of their car so they can't take guns into their car. That's genius.
Holy shit, that would be great.
It's right on the door handle.
We are providing solutions for real problems today. Yeah, ban assault cars, hammers.
Yo, don't tell Brooks that. He might get a little upset.
But are they trying to take my rights away? My assault SUVs.
My red SUV.
It's red because it's faster.
It's faster and it's really good at. It doesn't show the blood of the marching band students and the marching grannies.
Oh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I swear I thought that said assault penises. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yo, I saw a kid get stabbed by a pencil in high school. That shit was hilarious.
Since 2019, Lujan Grisham signed a raft of legislation restricting, I can't even say it, it's that ridiculous, access to guns, including a 2020 red flag law allowing police or sheriff deputies to ask a court to temporarily remove guns from people who might hurt themselves or other, an extension of background check requirements to nearly all private gun sales. And you did all that 3 years ago, and now you're saying it's a fucking crisis? Oh. So now you're saying it's a crisis? Good. I had an assault penis when I was younger. We don't discuss the danger. I'm so glad you have a nickname for it. Yeah. I haven't killed innocent people. Not even that. We've always said, or at least conservatives that talk about this have always said that this is the first step. The first step was red flag. And then we have these bans, these carry bans, and then it's going to be confiscation. That's what comes next. This is all progression. This is, oh shit, we got the red flag law through. So now we can temporarily remove them from public. Okay, so now you can't carry them in public. So now, yeah, we might as well just remove them. They're not doing you any good anyways. You can't use them to defend yourself or anything. This is all a progression. They have to do it slowly. They're going to speed it up because they're getting found out, and it's getting to a point where it's dangerous, but they are very, very close. Very, very close to that being the next step. And they're going to slide it right in. shall sign a ban on firearms possession for people under permanent protective orders for domestic violence. In Michigan,
it.
if you have a order of protection from the court, you're not allowed to own firearms anyways. In Michigan already, so
I think we need to add a maybe a 5-member jury, sure, where a 5-person jury of your peers has to convict you of domestic violence in order for this protective order to be instilled.
I agree, because they're abused, like red flag laws.
Exactly.
Yep. Here goes. Limit the police to the same restrictions as the public didn't last. Yeah, of course not. Because people that want to do harm don't care what the law says. I can drive 15 minutes up the road, pay a little bit more than sticker price, and get any gun I want. In no time. It comes in a little brown bag. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just speculating. I'm sure my buddy knows, AP knows a little bit about that, but
Oh, you saw all this shit go down in Chicago. Like
Yeah.
it's not an uncommon thing.
right.
Like you go
Right.
to like, fucking certain areas. I'm trying to remember south side of Chicago. I ended up visiting one of my buddies. I swear, I think I saw like 1 or 2 baggies that didn't look like alcohol getting passed around. This
Yeah.
brown plastic, not plastic, brown paper bags getting handed out because it obviously did not look like alcohol because alcohol you could see the bottle top out of it.
Absolutely. Yep.
It was either drugs or guns. Couldn't tell.
Guns. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's some places, or you can go down to. Oh, that was. Well, I probably shouldn't tell people where to go get them. Fucking get an FBI open up. Remember burning gates?
It's actually legit. I'm probably not going to say where I saw it either.
Exactly. Just go down in Belle Isle. No, I don't remember burning gates right offhand, but we don't give any advice or directions. That's for Discord. Anyways, Friday's
join us
order
there.
direct state. Friday's order directs state regulators to conduct monthly inspections of firearms dealers statewide to ensure compliance with gun laws. So they're going to start harassing. They're going to start harassing people like that. Fast, are you on? I forget where the hell you're at. Your email, right? Let me. I got you, brother. I'm gonna read the rest of this real quick though. The State Department of Health. This is the best one. This makes me really happy. The State Department of Health will compile a report on gunshot victims at New Mexico hospitals that include age, race, gender, and ethnicity. Do you think we'll ever hear about that? Along with the brand and caliber of firearm involved and other general circumstances. Do we want to start a pool on what those categories end up being?
The blacks and Hispanics, and 9 mil or 45 ACP. Fine. Some people have style. Fine.
No, 45 is too expensive.
It's so expensive.
Hang on, I'm working on it. So yeah, they're gonna provide. So there'll be even more information and more crimes, and now you'll be on a list, and you'll never get a gun because you got shot by one. You know.
Yeah, well, that list, yeah, is going to probably be misused. Like everybody who got shot's probably on like some kind of terrorist no-fly list type of thing.
Oh, absolutely.
But the what I do find mildly interesting is the going to, as you said, people's individual shops to try to see if they're complying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I assume that's obviously the paperwork that our friend Hunter didn't actually properly fill out, that type of thing, that whole charge that he's gonna possibly get slapped with, that paperwork, yeah, the no drug thing. And I assume probably the background check, but I don't think there's a single distributor who would be like, yeah, I'll definitely not do that.
Well, and then it's anything else. They're gonna step away from it. They're not gonna be able to. People are gonna be intimidated by it. They're not gonna do anything around that, and it's just gonna get messy, and it's gonna get ridiculous yet again. So,
Hey, Shenny. But yeah, no. I think they're going to get like an extremely skewed 9 mil minority statistic, and they're going to try to say that like firearms are racist or something.
wait, what's the yeet cannon?
The yeet cannon?
Yeah, what is that? I think it's a high point. It's called the yeet cannon.
Oh, the
I'm not
cheapest
even
freaking
kidding.
piece of crap that's been used in most issues in Florida and like everywhere else.
I'm not even kidding. Here it
High
is.
Point's awful.
It's a 9mm. It's called the yeet cannon. Yeet cannon. Right there.
It's like it's the cheapest, shoddiest freaking firearm I have ever. I think felt like it was gonna break in my hand when I've held one.
Oh yeah, they're shit.
They are garbage. I think the popcorn killer
No,
was.
I've seen the yeet cannon. Brian hasn't. Let's welcome to the stage, Fast Group. What's up, buddy? It's been a
Hey,
while.
Fast Group.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing
Not too
all
bad. How
right.
about yourself, brother?
Good. Good. Yeah, hang on a second.
Yeah, no worries. Yep.
I've never heard the term yeet cannon before. I've seen
Okay,
High Points.
I had some background going on there, but no, you want to know about Bernie Getz, and it's pronounced Getz. So
Yeah, okay.
he was an elderly man that lived in New York, and he rode the subway to work or to wherever he was going pretty much every day, and he had been a victim of several armed robberies by thugs on the subway. So he acquired a firearm, and I don't remember how he actually got it. And he carried it for self-protection. Of course, you couldn't get a concealed carry permit in New York at the time for anybody, basically, unless you were blowing a senator or something.
Right.
So he's carrying this gun, and 4 minority thugs with sharpened screwdrivers and picks pinned him in the subway to rob him again. And he shot them. I don't remember how many died. I'm not sure if it was 1 or 2, but I think he hit all of them.
Okay.
So he goes to trial for murder and aggravated assault and everything else. He was acquitted of murder, but he was found guilty on the illegal possession of a firearm.
Wow. And did they nail him down on that? Nail him
Yeah.
to the...
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course. That's disgusting. And that's
and there's some more information, and I can't remember it. The judge that was involved in that case, he was involved in some illegal shit, and he was disbarred, then got put back, and changed the judge in the case did some shady shit also.
yeah.
So yeah, and that's the whole thing about when you're teaching self-defense law, you got to know the difference between duty to retreat states, which states are hard stand your ground, which are soft stand your ground, and what duty to retreat really means.
Yeah.
All these liberal, certain person's name starts with an S, bought prosecutors. A prosecutor is not supposed to be about a conviction rate. It's supposed to be about finding the truth.
Right.
That's what they're supposed to do. Win, lose, or draw, it's about the truth. So yeah, I just want to.
No, I appreciate it. And there are very few that are going to, if they can nail you to the wall on something, they're gonna try their damnedest, and they're gonna do everything in their power to make it happen.
Well,
and
do you know one prosecutor who wasn't?
Who's that?
I don't remember the prosecutor's name, but it was the Zimmerman case in Florida, Tampa.
Oh yeah.
Prosecutor declined to prosecute. It was a clear case of self-defense.
Yeah.
And then they got a female prosecutor from down south who was fixing to lose her election as prosecutor because she was very strict on enforcing minor drug offenses against blacks. She was going to lose her prosecution. So she goes up and says, goes to the state and says, I'll prosecute this case. So she came in as a special prosecutor. Now, she lost the case. We all know Zimmerman walked.
Right.
As well he should have, but it ruined his life.
Yeah.
Because the process is the punishment.
Absolutely.
But she got reelected in her district. So she didn't lose the case. She got reelected. Because, hey, look, I tried this white guy that killed this black guy. Well, Zimmerman wasn't white, but that's what the news media put out.
They made him look pale.
Oh, absolutely.
They did.
Yeah. And they chopped up the 911 calls so that all the press put out was false information or completely out of context. And right here in my hometown with the Ahmaud Arbery case.
Yeah, that one's one that never should have went the way it went.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't have for a lot of reasons.
Right.
But at the time, what those guys did was stupid, but was not illegal.
Right.
Once you charge somebody and grab their firearm that they're holding legally, then you are both armed.
Yeah.
Ask any law enforcement officer. I was law enforcement for 4 years. You try to take a cop's gun and it's lethal force on.
It's not even if you take the gun. If you place your hand on my service pistol,
yes,
you're
absolutely.
holding a firearm.
Exactly.
And my partner hopefully will blow your ass away, because if you get that gun, we're all screwed. So
yeah, that's the old saying is, there's 10 people at a cocktail party and one person has a gun. How many people are armed? All of them.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So.
But they made it out to be racial.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the law. And what did Georgia do? What did my state do when that happened? Oh, they quickly changed the citizen arrest law. Just boom, right through Congress.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
no, it's way out of hand, and this is the first step in them really screwing us bad. So,
yeah, it is. And I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm an 07 FFL manufacturer.
yeah,
So I have to deal with all that shit. Hunter Biden did not wrongly fill out a 4473. He lied.
he
on it.
lied on it intentionally.
Right. Yeah, so he didn't fill it out incorrectly, because the FFL is going to look at it and say, no, you ain't getting a gun. You filled this out wrong.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't an accident. Like, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people look at it like he filled it out incorrectly and the FFL just let it go. That was not the case.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Type of thing. They're giving them the benefit of the doubt, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve it, but
yeah. No, and that FFL has to do a NICS check, or if he has a concealed carry license, all I have to do is make a copy of that.
Right.
Because a concealed carry license already puts you through a background check.
Exactly. Yep. So go get your concealed carry. It's much easier to buy firearms. Takes less time. If you're on a high point, you're at a low point. So I'm.
I didn't mean to get carried away there.
No, you're totally fine. I'm just getting back to some of these because we were talking about heat cannons. So $182 is what this fine firearm would cost you.
Oh God!
With the yeet cannon emblem on the side of it. I've touched one. They're yep. But anyways, but high point. If you want to send me a yeet cannon, I'd be happy to, and I would say so many nice things about your gun.
I've never, and again, being a gunsmith, I have never actually seen a high point.
Really?
Person. I've never seen one. I don't want to, quite frankly.
Why would anybody take a high point to a gunsmith? That just seems like a waste of money. Just buy a new high point.
Yeah, probably why I haven't seen one, because even with a lot of ARs, cheap ARs that people buy, they bring them to me. When I rebuild them to actually make them reliable and accurate, my bill is what it cost them to buy the gun.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said about lower priced firearms. Sky is one that comes to mind, and I don't know if you guys know what that is. SCCY. It's pronounced
Nope.
Sky. Yeah, I just had one in the shop the other day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're a very cheap made, and this gun wouldn't fire. It was brand new. But when you think of, first of all, when you talk about gun control is racist.
Yeah.
Gun control first became a thing during Reconstruction. And the whole reason that they passed gun control laws was to keep newly freed blacks from owning guns. Okay, so gun control is racist in its roots. And then you have the other part to guns is, the whole thing about the Saturday night specials. I don't know if y'all are even old enough to remember that stuff.
Not really.
Well, they were basically cheap 5-shot revolvers and stuff. And they were saying, oh, well, these, this is what the criminals were using, so we got to make those illegal. No more Saturday night specials, cheap guns. Well, who does that hurt? Who does that hurt?
The minorities. They can't afford
it hurts. It hurts the minorities and the poor people who legitimately need a gun for self-defense, but they can't afford it because they're pricing them out. That's just like this bullshit 1,000% tax that they're trying to do on firearms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
History, text, and tradition.
Yeah.
which comedian was it that said like have like 1,000% tax on the ammo and make it too expensive to actually fire the gun itself?
Yeah, I don't know what comedian did that, but I know Congress critters have brought that up.
I think it was shoot, what the hell? Dave Chappelle maybe?
I don't know. Wasn't Dave Chappelle the one that said how not to get your ass beat by the police?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
How not to get your ass beat by the police.
I think the
That
fact that I have shot a high point yet have never heard the term yeet cannon just shows exactly like when I have shot this gun.
Yeah, and you know what? And I've heard, yeet cannon, and people are now using things. You got yeeted, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to show my ignorance by not knowing what the hell that means. I didn't know what it was until just now.
Chris Rock, thank you, amazing disgrace.
Chris Rock, yeah.
Bobby said Brian hasn't. I'm officially no longer. I officially no longer believe Brian is any black. He's not. He's Puerto Rican.
No, D's. I have an actual job. I can afford something better than a fucking Taurus.
Who's
We have a
Puerto
pirate
Rican?
flag from Jake.
Who?
We had a pirate flag from Jacob Castro. What's up? What's up, Jacob? We need an internal affairs for judges. They're getting so far online. It's unbelievable. No, you need to go fucking vote.
We do
Vote,
have one.
Vote.
We do have one. It's called the Bar Association.
Yeah,
They're not doing shit. We can't. We don't get to vote for the bar association.
I didn't say they were
You vote
doing
for
shit.
judges?
I'm just saying there was one.
at least here we vote for judges.
Yeah, but you don't vote for who's on the Bar Association, and I don't even know how that shit's made up, because quite frankly, I think the Bar Association is a private membership association, which skirts a lot of laws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's a serious problem, and but I think that's lower on the totem pole of problems right now. But Brian, this one's for you, if you wouldn't mind reading that one from D's.
What's the most popular gun among black people?
God bless.
The
Seriously,
illegal ones, right?
You own a Taurus? No, nobody.
I got it. Yeah. There's a lot of people that own Taurus.
Oh,
They're
really?
not great.
Huh.
They're
Yeah.
not great.
They're not
No?
great, but once again, they're a less expensive gun that somebody with a fixed income can buy, that otherwise, what was Clint Smith or Jeff Cooper's first rule of gunfighting? Have a gun.
Right.
And I've taught a lot of people that have used Tauruses, and they've got some decent revolvers.
Okay. That's what Red was saying. I love my Taurus 7-shot 357 mag snub nose.
Yeah,
So-
I mean they're not the best. They're not a high quality, but they're probably gonna go bang when you need it, unless you're actually out putting it through its paces and training like you should be training.
Right.
That's the difference. It's probably going to break something quicker when you're actually training with it. But again, when's the best time for it to break? When you're training.
Right.
Do y'all know that federal judges don't have to be barred?
Doesn't surprise me.
They don't have to. They don't have to have a bar license, like every other person in the state, or every other lawyer does.
Well, they're an elected office, so they don't have to have. They don't even have to have a JD.
Justices don't either.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. Judges or justices
that's something new.
Don't need a law degree at all. Any law degree at all.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow. So I can run for judge?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Enjoy. Federal judge.
Yep.
I think they're appointed, but anywho.
But you can run for
federal
county
judges
judges
are
and stuff
appointed.
like that. Right. But yeah, judges don't need to be licensed or have a JD or anything. So
Wow, I did not realize that. But yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know. That was one of Trump's greatest accomplishments is he put in a ton of federal judges. Not only did he got Kavanaugh, Barrett, and who was the other one?
who is the other one? Kavanaugh, Barrett, and then
Well, he got 3 Supreme Court judges in his 4 years. That's amazing to begin with.
right.
But he also appointed several hundred federal.
Thomas.
No, Clarence
Not
Thomas.
Thomas. Thomas has been there for years.
Yes, he's from down here, Savannah.
Gorsuch? No.
Gorsuch.
Gorsuch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
that was the other one. But he got a ton of federal judges in the districts, which greatly changed the Ninth Circuit.
Right. Dee sent me a meme. Different hammers and their purposes: drywall, framing, partying with Paul Pelosi, and securing liberty.
And if you don't know what that bottom right figure is,
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Don't do it. You'll get him yeeted,
We're on
brother.
YouTube.
Do not
you-
do that.
if you don't know what it is, you need to do some research.
No, don't do the research.
Start getting knocks at the door.
If you start doing research, you're gonna start partying with Paul Pelosi. That's the problem. It's like a freaking degeneracy situation.
Why is Nancy? Oh yeah, Nancy just said she's gonna run again.
God,
So-
hold on. She's gonna be fucking. She needs a fucking hip replacement in the middle of session.
At the end of her term, I think she'll be 94 if she wins again. Which
She needs a
God.
fucking brain replacement.
Yeah.
I would love to be the cause for hip replacement. I'd do that so hard. Holy moly. She's kind of hot. I mean, come on. Paul wouldn't
Hell,
mind.
Oh, you want to hit that? You're sick,
Hope
dude.
not.
I'd whisper in her ear, insider trading should be illegal, brother.
Yeah, but she's not running until 26. Like her next term isn't until 2026, and
That's
then
true. Holy moly.
after that, then she'll be. I think when she finishes her next term, if she gets reelected, she'd be 94. That's what I was reading. So
She's a
Yep.
no. She's a house she's a representative, right?
oh shit, you're right. Yeah,
2 years, every 2 years.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Is this lady wearing a Ukrainian tracksuit?
Yes, very much so.
Seriously?
No.
Why is- I'm like, what the hell does that?
Because
Had me confused.
Ukrainians are basically Russians, and Russians wear tracksuits.
Oh, there's a whole Adidas thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
from back in the 70s or 80s or whatever
Uh-huh.
it was that it was. If you were Russian and you had an Adidas tracksuit, you were royalty.
You were Gucci.
Yeah, you were showing your wealth.
All right, so this is Lujan Grisham. This is the governor or mayor, whatever the hell she is, governor of. Yeah, I know. I'm going just.
Live free and prosper.
Open and close the laundry.
Yeah, it's beeping and it's driving her nuts. So,
Is that your better half?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yep.
know that. Ah.
Yep.
Well, hello, Mrs. Better Half. People will make me come and punch you.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is a long ass press conference. This is the press conference on Friday that she was given about gun violence, and she announced this restriction and all this. I want to go through the whole thing because the whole thing is infuriating. I'm going to go switch the laundry so I don't get stabbed, and then
Can I
will be right back. But
Can I
yeah,
say
go ahead.
something
What's up?
real quick?
Yeah.
This is another thing that irks the. I don't think I can say fuck, but anyway,
You could
the
say
hell
fuck.
out.
I say fuck.
It irks the fuck out of me. Okay, the left will come up with phrases
Mm-hmm.
that suck the right into using, just like
Mhm.
you did.
Yep.
You use the word gun violence. It's a bullshit term. Just like assault weapon, it's a bullshit term. So why the hell are we allowing that to be used? And not only allowing it to be used, but we repeat it ourselves.
Because they own media and everything else, and they just continuously put it in your head, and they put it in every article, and they put it in everything, and we get so conditioned to say this shit. It's like,
but isn't
it's
it
like I've been
our responsibility to make sure that that doesn't proliferate?
it's tough anymore. It really is. Like I sit up here and I talk on YouTube all the time, and I catch myself censoring and saying different things than I want to, because I know for sure that somehow you've read it, and programming. Exactly. Amazing. You read it so many times and heard it in every report, and it's in every piece of research that you see, and it's just programmed. And you try to do the best you can, but it's not easy. Not easy.
Oh, I know. I just wanted to bring that up so that we all kind of try to, keep that in our, front brain housing group to, continue to bring that out to the rest of us. Hey, we need to stop using that word. It's a bullshit term that they're programming us to use.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially assault rifle. What the hell's an assault rifle? And nobody can explain it to you.
An assault rifle is a fully automatic weapon.
Hang on.
auto.
Well, I think it has only been termed like in one place that was an assault weapon. And I'm trying to remember, in the Marine Corps, I think it was used in the term of fire maneuver. And I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've been in the Marine Corps, but the M16 was never called an assault rifle.
Right.
It was called an M16.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had a long, lengthy description: shoulder fired, gas operated, magazine fed rifle. Assault was never in the description. So it's just another progressive made up term. It's something made up to scare people.
Yeah.
That's it. Assault.
Absolutely.
Assault is a verb. Weapon is a noun. I can assault you. Look up the definition of assault. You don't even have to have a weapon to cause assault. Assault is simply putting someone in fear of bodily harm. No weapon involved. Aggravated assault is different. So there's nothing about a rifle that has anything to do with assault in any legal terms or anything else. People are just ignorant. And I don't mean that disparagingly. It's ignorant. I'm ignorant of a lot of things, like neurosurgery, and rocket science. I'm ignorant of all of that. But if somebody, the whole thing is that, well, if you tell a lie long enough, it becomes a truth. No, it doesn't. It just becomes a lie that people believe.
You can't exist amazing unless you do, because your channel's gone. It's just gone. And I mean, I can't even, if I try and go as far as I can, and that gets me booted out of the algorithm, and I've been stuck on the same number of subscribers forever, because I don't get recommended, I don't get put anywhere, I don't get anything, so they just silence you. If you're not going to play their game, they silence you. Even me, that tries really hard to not play their game, but I still have to go along a little bit to exist, and that's what's infuriating about it.
Oh,
and I don't even say anything that bad. I mean, maybe I do.
I've caught you every once in a while, but I've done the same thing.
Apparently, the U.S. Army does have just a strict designation of the term assault rifle as short, compact, selective fire. In very, very bold, selective fire.
Right.
Okay, if I don't go switch this real quick, I am going to get stabbed. It's like 10 seconds away, so I'm gonna play this video. I will be right back. In like
Sure, go
Yeah,
for it.
but this
Just
stream
say.
would be so much better if you actually got stabbed live on air.
Oh no, no.
I'll have to drive over.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Maddie. I want to thank members of the press for joining us today.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to announce today the details of our public health order that work in concert with the fact that we declared a gun violence
Why is she
public health
smiling?
emergency as an epidemic yesterday. Now, the meat of it, which is why you're here, is what's in that order. But first, I want to make some introductions and tell you why these fine gentlemen are sitting with me. Prior to this meeting or this press announcement, I asked all of the major leaders in law enforcement, particularly in Bernalillo County, and I want to thank, he's not here, he wasn't able to stay, but DA Sam Bregman for his words of wisdom and advice about how we keep working together to really make sure that we're lining up all of our resources. And we've been
I wonder
doing
how much that table cost.
I have to say that in the last year in particular, and the evidence in
That's a nice
Albuquerque and
table.
Bernalillo County
It
speaks
is.
for itself, that we're seeing
You know
a
that
reduction
shit's solid.
in homicides. But this work tends to come and go. And that can't be the way that we do it anymore. And the way that we
And what is
that's
a homicide,
occurred
lady?
in that way, because we
Person
all
killing
are
another person.
resource limited.
Exactly.
So we've determined
It's not
today,
murder.
I want to thank you, and I'll introduce
Not
everyone around the
necessarily.
table, that we don't need any more resource limitations conversations
An increase in
we need
homicide
to
is not
use the
necessarily a
power
bad thing.
of a public health and a state of emergency to access different levers, different resources, and different opportunities to keep New Mexicans safe. So that's what's changed today. And we're going to keep doing this work very closely
Right.
until we
Take
see
the guns out of the
dramatic
law-abiding
additional
citizens' hands. Keep
productive
them safe.
changes in the state. So I don't think anyone around the table needs any introduction, but I'm going to go to my left first. With me today is Chief Harold Medina from the Albuquerque Police Department. Chief, thank you. We have the Bernalillo County Sheriff, John Allen. We also have Commander Hernandez from the Albuquerque Police Department. To my right, we have the Deputy Secretary Baker from the Department of Public Safety.
All these guys
We
know
also
they're
have the
fucked.
Chief of State
What, was he the
Police,
one token Caucasian guy?
and maybe new to the conversation in this space, but
I
not
like how they split it
new
up half
to
the table,
effort,
half the table.
is former State Police Chief Pete Casetas, who joins us today in a new official capacity. And he is our newly announced Crime Reduction Director, helping us keep the navigation and the coordination of all the different levers, resources, and opportunities to make New
God,
Mexicans
his
safer
eyes
as
tell me he's
possible.
afraid.
What I have in the public health order is not agreed to by every member sitting at this table, nor was it developed with all of their expertise at the front end. What you'll see is I'm taking on all the major issues,
I don't know if I can listen to this.
and as I give you the details of the public health order, which I'm going to do in a minute, you'll see that some of them are going to
Yeah, it's pretty
pose
bad.
incredible challenges for me as a governor and as a state. And I welcome the debate and the fight about making the Mexicans safer. Before I give you the details
Making
of
the
public health order,
Mexicans? You're
I am
right.
going to ask the Deputy Secretary, just to put into context, not that you need it, about just how dire we think the situations are around the state, and in particular, the largest city, the nexus of I-25 and I-40, present very particular challenges for all of us. in
Those
keeping the
exits lead to
Mexicans
ghettos.
Deputy
That's my
Secretary.
first
Madam
question.
Governor, thank you. Members
Do
of the press, the
exits
public,
lead to ghettos?
welcome the opportunity to speak
Yeah.
on a subject matter that's close to my
Because she said two
last
specific
month,
exits.
while
Where do they
attending
lead?
my
Oh,
oldest son's
okay, I missed
first
that.
Yaffle
I was
football
reading some
practice in
chat.
a public park. in the city of Albuquerque, where I began my law enforcement career and have served for many years, and I'm proud of and love. In front of the view of 90 school children, directly adjacent to a public middle school, 4 juveniles approached one another and began an active gun battle 5 feet away from my son and his teammates. All of the ancillary personnel, the moms, the dads, the little brothers and sisters, the kids.
There are no
playing
laws
on the
in place
playground
that prevent that.
were impacted by
Oh, there are plenty.
the gunfire that was happening around them.
So
and
one
the
more is gonna
subsequent
make 'em stop.
Stabbing and
Correct.
destruction of evidence.
Okay, gotcha. Just want to be on the
Myself and
same
some of other
page.
Parents responded
Glad we
in a
are.
way to try and get the children to safety, and thank God, none of the children not involved in the intentional fighting action were harmed. That is just, thank God. Who was harmed was the 13-year-old who brought the gun to this park,
13 shouldn't have one.
and the 14-year-old who was also stabbed.
Also should not have one.
Treated those gunshot and stab wounds at the scene while we waited for first responders to arrive. Additionally, securing.
I think I was 7 when I got my first gun.
Useful to prosecution,
I still have it.
which is being undertaken by the Bernalillo County Sheriff. In nearly 27 years of law enforcement experience,
And I
I've
took it to
responded
school once,
thousands
as a matter of fact.
of active.
Don't admit your crimes on the internet.
I have never
No.
responded to one.
I took it
before
on the
with my
bus.
son,
Used it in a play in 6th
and I
grade.
don't recommend that course of action for anyone else. It has
A lot
had
of us did.
marked effect
Times were different in
on
the
my
60s.
perception of something that I'm
It was actually the 70s.
very familiar with.
Brother, I
The
was
impact
making a
is
joke.
I have seen a deterioration.
Yeah, you're right.
and
Times were
escalation of
different.
violence
So maybe
perpetrated
it's the
with guns,
times that need to be looked at
particularly
and not
among
the
our young
guns.
people, in
Because
a manner
guns
that
were
I've
around
never
then.
seen before. I share that story with you to raise awareness.
I had a
Any
rifle and
members
shotgun
this
in my
room
truck
covered
at
that story when it
school,
happened,
in
because
high
it was
school every
significant
day,
when it
'cause I
happened.
hunted
saw
and
it with
trapped
my own
before and
eyes
after
in
school.
color, live. And
A lot of us did.
this problem is real, and I'm grateful to be part of the solution, and I'm grateful for our governor's
God, I'm
work
so glad you made me
bringing
laugh over this
together
guy's personal
the
anecdote. That was kind of
agencies
bullshit.
and the resources to aid our community at this difficult time. Thank you for allowing me to share that.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. And as many people here know, it's not an isolated incident. And there isn't one of us sitting right here who doesn't respond in our official capacity, who isn't a current business owner in Albuquerque, or isn't a mother or a grandmother or a father or a grandfather, who doesn't have a personal specific story that includes violence in our community. And before I give you the details one more time, I do want to tell the parents and family members of the children who we've lost to gun violence in just
Oh, stop saying that
incredibly
fucking
recently
phrase.
and
You
in recent months.
Yeah, and
We
how
want
many of
them
those are
to
caused
have
by your
all
lockdowns, lady, over the
shared
past
condolences,
year? And it's
and we want
usually
them to
not
know
not
we are
ruled a
horrified
person against
by
other
what is
person.
occurring around the state and the country, and we're going to do everything. And the group here and my efforts, I hope, are an indication. And
Yeah,
so to the
exactly,
Viegases,
JSDs.
for losing
For failing their jobs,
11
blame the
killed
guns.
in a road rage incident. Galleria Santiago, 5 killed on August 14th in her bed while she was sleeping. And Amber Archuleta, 13, shot and killed in Cuesta. And as you all know, there are many more. And it is time to declare
Exactly.
an end
Yep.
to this kind of violence.
Exactly.
It is, in fact, an epidemic. Gunshot deaths or gun deaths are the
Yep.
leading cause of
Carry
death
one
for
every
children
day,
1 to
and
19 in New Mexico. From 2017
Never
to
used it illegally,
2021,
and it's never done
143
anything on its
children were
own,
killed by
which
guns.
is not what they told me.
49% of those were homicides, 53%.
I know, I have cameras
were
on mine.
suicides.
Just
That's nearly
with alerts.
Just in case.
53%. So the majority of them were
in the
suicide.
state of New Mexico.
Right.
In 2022,
She literally just said the
12%
statistic,
of gun offenders in Albuquerque were under the
which
age
happened in the
18.
house.
New Mexico ranks
Under
third
the age of
highest
18.
for firearm injury rates. 90%.
So this, again, this action
in the
will not
national
stop
average. I'm
that.
going to repeat that because
No,
it
it won't.
It would actually be safer if they were
we
taken
hit
out
the
of the home and with the adult at the same time.
90% higher
Yep.
than the national average. In 2022, there were 1,306
With all due respect, Governor.
firearm
Fuck you.
emergency department visits.
rackets.
1,306, up
She
from
needs to find some nickel salts in her
1,263
shoes.
in 2021 and 1,129 in 2020. I asked the chief before the start of this just about gunshots, and we're talking in a year's time, 35,000 or more. And most people, I don't think it's all that anecdotally, but are going to tell you that there are shots fired somewhere in Albuquerque multiple times a day.
Okay.
No.
That frankly,
Really?
Is there a gun
escalated
range?
around the state, including right here in Santa
Yeah.
Fe? So in this public health order, which is effective today, September 8th,
I think you
which
took the wrong
lasts
turn at
30
Albuquerque.
days, and then
Right.
we'll, like all the other public health orders, we will either amend or renew or adjust, depending upon where we are. So effective immediately, no person other than a law enforcement officer or
Bullshit.
licensed security officer shall possess a firearm, either openly or concealed, within cities or counties, averaging 1,000 or more violent crimes per 100,000, and more than 90 firearm-related emergency department visits. So to put that in sort of a layman's term,
Yeah, why don't you do
terms
that, you
for
self-pompous
30
ass?
days in Albuquerque and Bernalillo County, it's the only place that meets both those standards. Statewide order, but only one place meets both criteria. We have far too
now.
many ER gunshot visits, and we have far too many crimes.
And you're going to get
Involving
more, you dumb
firearms.
bitch.
We are suspending open and concealed carry.
Fire.
Jesus.
She said if the
The
fire
purpose
department
is to try to
responds, that's
create
good
A
criteria.
cooling off period while we figure out how we
Yeah,
can
because it's a public
better
health emergency.
address public
For
safety
Fire department.
and gun violence.
You burn a
Now, I'm
turkey in
sure
your oven,
like
you're
with
adding
the
to
rest
that
of us,
adding
there'll
to
be a
that
lot of
statistic.
questions about whether or not
Yep.
we think we have the legal rights to do that.
No,
I
you
am
don't.
sure
It's
that
called
before you
the
write
Second
this,
Amendment,
there will be a
reinforced
legal
by
challenge.
Heller, McDonald, and
And I
Bruin.
can't tell you that we win it, given all of the different
When do we get the Supreme Court saying that
challenges
okay, public health orders are
to
no
gun
longer allowed?
violence laws and restrictions on
When they
individual
grow
balls?
firearm access and
You know, that's a
control.
good question, actually.
I think it's time we have a really strong debate about all the other
Oh,
constitutional
fuck your
rights.
debate.
No one right
that is a
now
good
in New
question.
Mexico, in particular,
Because,
is safe in a movie theater, at a park,
Let's
at a
let's
school,
think back
at a
to
grocery store.
Hurricane Katrina
at an Isotopes game,
that hit New Orleans,
at the university, at the grocery store. I think I said.
and the law
giving
that
you
came out after
restrictions.
that.
At work, you just
Yeah.
aren't safe.
And
I
I
can
sh-
guarantee it.
I
And
should
neither
be
can
up on
the
that,
men
and I don't
and the women
know it. I'm gonna have
who
to
put on a
research that.
uniform
But
every day.
remember what they did?
In that
No.
regard, I think it's time to talk
I was
about the
6.
absoluteness of the discussion.
Holy
and the
shit,
Oh, you're so
consequent
young, I forget that.
actions, that suggest that the Second
Damn, I
Amendment is an absolute
grandkids
right,
older
none of
than
the
you.
others are. And I'm sure you're going to ask me what I
I'm
think.
sorry, I was not 6, I was
It
8.
opens up the door.
Oh,
to
yeah, that
kinds of
changes
public
everything.
Safety that keep kids
Oh,
safe.
it's much better.
I'm willing.
Yeah, makes me feel so much younger.
In addition to that 30-day suspension,
Rights are not rights if they can be
and I want to make
suspended.
sure I clarify that suspension
Exactly.
does not apply to any private property.
This is the time when our rights
Responsible
should
gun
come through.
owners are
And this
certainly
is
not
the
our
time
problem,
when they should get the
have
fuck out of the
never
way
been
and
our
let us have
problem.
Hold on,
Right.
pause this bitch for a second.
And I appreciate
Responsible
dear.
gun owners are not our problem.
But that's who you're taking away from.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
They don't care about the law. They don't care about any of it.
Private property does not matter. Law-abiding citizens are not our problem.
Law-abiding citizens are one that you're
Who
affecting.
don't
You're not-
shoot people.
You are not. You're not affecting criminals one bit by your little fucking diatribe right now and your little executive order. Same thing that fucking Omaha, Nebraska mayor just did. It's no difference.
This is insane.
It is insane. But
This is tyranny.
this is tyranny. That's exactly right. And because of Bruin, all these little people are coming out and mayors making their little executive orders within their city limits because they know it's going to take time for it to go through the court system, because first of all, you have to find somebody that has standing to go in front of the court.
Yep.
And a lot of times that's a person who gets arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got to go to trial. Then they've got to lose at trial, which means they go to jail.
Yep.
Then they've got to get an appeal. And what does Steve Gosney say? 0.6% of appeals win.
Yes.
So, but trial courts don't have precedential value. Only appellate courts and above do.
Mm-hmm.
And case law is made both ways. I mean, they'll either affirm the court or there's 4 things the appellate court can do. They can mitigate it. They can send it back for trial. They can adjudicate it with prejudice that they completely overturn it. But whatever decision they make, that is case law.
Yeah.
Because statutes don't mean shit on paper. They don't mean shit until the courts interpret them. And some unlucky bastard has to be the one that is the fucking case study.
Yeah. And he's probably not going to be the case study. It's going to be the next one, or the one that has money, or the one that actually makes it through the cracks. Like, it's not the first guy. Like, plenty of people are going to go to jail for this.
It's whatever the first unlucky bastard is that has to go through the process, is found guilty, and appeals are for losers.
Yep.
You already lost.
Mm-hmm.
So when the appellate court looks at a case, they look, you no longer are innocent. You are guilty. So the appellate courts look in favor of the trial court. They don't want to overturn the trial judge. They don't.
Right.
Yeah, but just remember, this lady is very happy to try to take everyone's guns away, but then she has armed security following her everywhere.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
remember, you notice how she said armed security is still okay and police are still okay.
Yeah.
Right.
If she truly believed this, then she would say, okay, but I also don't need my armed security now.
Right.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
My security is no longer armed. They have baseball bats.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Give them all billy clubs like the Bobbies.
Yep.
But,
Amazing says... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to read it real quick. This is what I was trying to say earlier, but tripping over because this thing pisses me off. The Second Amendment is a rule for her to follow. She acts like it's there to limit citizens. Correct. It's there for the government to follow, not us.
Yeah, and that's crazy. But I thought what they did in New Jersey, and there's not many good things that come out of New Jersey. But when they passed, and this has been 5-7 years ago, New Jersey passed a law about limiting normal capacity of magazines to 10 rounds and this and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They made it that law enforcement had to abide by the same rules. When it passed, it affected law enforcement, so they had the same rules as the citizens.
And that didn't work.
Well, no, the police unions and everybody else raised all kinds of hell. They changed that real quick. But to me, and I'm a former law enforcement officer, spent 4 years on SWAT. If you're going to do it to the citizens, do it to the police. That's the entire reason of the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Don't do to me what you don't do to the government, because law enforcement is government at some level.
Yep.
State, local, federal.
Absolutely. They're a branch of government. So we'll break up this bitch with a great clip by George Carlin.
Oh, I know this one. I know it. You don't belong to the club.
Yep.
Also, yes, fiery, it is still.
Why everyone in this country is always running around yammering about their fucking rights. I have a right. You have no right. We have a right. They don't have a right. Folks, I hate to spoil your fun, but there's no such thing as rights, okay? They're imaginary. We made them up, like the boogeyman. The Three Little Pigs, Pinocchio, Mother Goose, shit like that. Rights are an idea. They're just imaginary. They're a cute idea, cute, but that's all, cute and fictional. But if you think you do have rights, let me ask you this. Where do they come from? People say, well, they come from God. They're God-given rights. Oh, fuck, here we go again. Here we go again. The God excuse, the last refuge of a man with no answers and no argument. It came from God. Anything we can't describe must have come from God. Personally, folks, I believe that if your rights came from God, he would have given you the right to some food every day, and he would have given you the right to a roof over your head. God would have been looking out for you. God would have been looking out for you.
He did.
You know?
All you had to do was build it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been worried about making sure you have a gun
Without
to get
paying
drunk
taxes.
Sunday night and kill your girlfriend's parents. But let's say it's true. Let's say God gave us these rights. Why would he give us a certain number of rights? The Bill of Rights in this country has 10 stipulations, okay? 10 rights. And apparently God was doing sloppy work that week because we've had to amend the Bill of Rights an additional 17 times. So God forgot a couple of things like slavery. Just fucking slipped his mind. But let's say God gave us the original 10. He gave the British 13. The British Bill of Rights has 13 stipulations. The Germans have 29. The Belgians have 25. The Swedish have only 6. And some people in the world have no rights at all. What kind of a fucking goddamn God-given deal is that? No rights at all? Why would God give different people in different countries different numbers of different rights? Boredom? Amusement? Bad arithmetic? Do we find out at long last after all this time that God is weak in math skills? Doesn't sound like divine planning to me. Sounds more like human planning. Sounds more like one group trying to control another group. In other words, business as usual in America. Now, if you think you do have rights, one last assignment for you. Next time you're at the computer, get on the internet, go to Wikipedia. When you get to Wikipedia, in the search field for Wikipedia, I want you to type in Japanese Americans 1942, and you'll find out all about your precious fucking rights, okay? All right. You know about it. You know about it. In 1942, there were 110,000 Japanese American citizens and good standing, law-abiding people who were thrown into internment camps simply because their parents were born in the wrong country. That's all they did wrong. They had no right to a lawyer, no right to a fair trial, no right to a jury of their peers, no right to due process of any kind. The only right they had, right this way, into the internment camps. Just when these American citizens needed their rights the most, their government took them away. And rights aren't rights if someone can take them away. They're privileges. That's all we've ever had in this country is a bill of temporary 100%. Privileges. And if you read the news even badly, you know that every year the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter. You see how sooner
had nothing to do with God.
Yeah.
No,
Sooner or later, the people in this country are going to realize the government does not give a fuck about them. Government doesn't care about you or your children or your rights or your welfare or your safety. It simply doesn't give a fuck about you. It's interested in its own power. That's the only thing, keeping it and expanding it wherever possible. Personally, when it comes to rights, I think one of two things is true. I think either we have unlimited rights or we have no rights at all. Personally, I lean toward unlimited rights. I feel, for instance, I have the right to do anything I please. But if I do something you don't like, I think you have the right to kill me. So where are you going to find a fairer fucking deal than that? So the next time some asshole says to you, I have a right to my opinion, you say, oh yeah, well, I have a right to my opinion, and my opinion is you have no right to your opinion. Then shoot the fuck and walk away.
He was a funny guy.
He was.
Don't agree
I've never
a lot
seen,
of it.
I've never
you
seen
haven't?
that particular clip. No, that's not the one I thought you were going to play. But yeah, I disagree with a lot of what he said. He got, I guess, a little cynical, or I'm not sure what, in his later years.
Well, he was a liberal, too.
Yeah, I know he was.
So,
Yeah. But you know what? He wouldn't be called a liberal today with some of the stuff that he used to say back 30, 40 years ago.
Oh, absolutely not. He would be conservative.
He would have been considered a
white
right-wing
supremacist.
extremist.
Right.
Yeah. You know,
Yep.
because he talks to gun. And I don't know if I would call him a liberal. I don't know what I'd call him exactly. You know,
Yeah.
because right there, he's still bashing the government. Liberals don't do that. Liberals love the government. That's their
Right.
daddy.
I mean,
Yep.
probably an uninitiated or possibly a libertarian left, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. He was a black pill. He hated everything. He was just a crotchety old man. He just had some good takes at times, and I thought he was funny as shit. I really did. I was always a fan. But
Oh, he was an awesome comedian. He was funny as shit. He was. And you know what? If comedians was just stick with doing their job as a comedian, be great.
Yeah.
You know, if actors would just act and, you know, not spew stupid shit out of their mouth every time they opened it, I'd watch their movies. But there's a lot of movies I won't fucking watch because of who's in it. It's that simple.
Yep.
That's my right.
All right. I know nobody wants to, but we're going to finish this press conference because we need to see it. You need
All right.
to know what's coming.
I'll shut up.
You did, man.
The impact that this has, but on private property, this has no bearing. But you on the premises, and it has no application on the premises of a licensed firearm dealer or gunsmith for the purposes
That's
of
also
lawful
true.
transfer or repair of a firearm. While engaged in the legal use of a firearm at a properly licensed firing range or sports shooting competition venue.
Right.
While
'cause
you're
that's what the
traveling
Second
to and
Amendment.
from a location dealing with your firearms, they have to be in a locked box where they have to have a trigger lock. So that's how we
Unconstitutional.
Fuck you.
support responsible firearm owners in their daily activities.
To me, that's
And
irresponsible.
the New Mexico Regulation and Licensing Department will conduct monthly inspections of licensed firearm
That is
dealers
100%
in the
true,
state
man.
to ensure
Monthly.
compliance with all sales.
Wait a minute. Stop that
and
shit. Stop.
storage
What the
Yep.
fuck did she just say?
She said monthly compliance, so they're going to check in monthly
By who?
for all
By who?
by the government.
There's not that many IOIs. There is no way a fucking IOI can inspect every fucking FFL once a month.
Right?
They don't have that many. I think the number of IOIs equate to like 30 per state if they were divided up per state.
Wow.
They can't do that. There's no way. So who is she talking about inspecting them? Because it's not going to be ATF IOIs.
I think she's talking about her government. Like her
She
government's
can't-
going to take over.
No way. I'm an FFL. Some state or county comes to me and says, I want to inspect your guns. Fuck you. No. Fucking leave. I'm calling the ATF because my records belong to me and the ATF only.
Mhm.
You can go pound fucking sand.
It's just another step in limiting it. It's another.
That just made no sense to me. And depending on how I'm a small little, literally mom and pop shop. It's just me and the wife, but I'm the gunsmith. I'm the manufacturer. I run all the guns.
Uh-huh.
I do all the machine work, building everything. I don't have an inventory of guns like an Academy of Sports, or
Right.
Sports Academy or whatever big gun place was that they buy and sell guns all day long. Do you know how long it's going to take that IOI to go through and do a compliance inspection of all their records?
I mean,
long fucking time. And do it once a month?
Yeah.
There's no way. Sorry, I
Yeah.
jumped in on a triad, but
no,
I mean,
that's what we're here for, brother. Like in Fiery Red said state PD, and I looked it up, and yes, the state of New Mexico is going to do inspections monthly for compliance.
No, they're not. There's no fucking way. They can't.
I don't see how. I don't see enough people that would be willing to do so. I think she's just grabbing. She's just grabbing, and again, it's the whole point of
Again, and it's like AP just said, the state cannot do it. The
Right.
local county sheriff can't do it. The municipality police department can't do it. They are not the fucking ATF. They're the
Mhm.
only ones that can do it. And it's not ATF agents that come out and do it. They're called IOIs, or independent operational inspectors. They're not even allowed to carry guns. They're bean
Wow.
counters.
Okay.
That's who comes out and does my inspections.
Okay.
So, they can't fucking do it.
They also shouldn't be able to do this, but again, we're
They-
talking about
they
a lady
can't.
that
Well,
Right.
they physically are unable, is what I think what Fast is trying to say. Like, there's
Right.
not just not enough of them,
right.
No,
Well,
and
It's
they're
not
going to
legal.
probably lose some.
it's not legal. They cannot do it. The only person that can now, if ATF wants to send an IOI out every fucking month to inspect my papers and inventory, yeah, they can do that. They also have to set up a conducive time. They have to call me. We have to coordinate a time. What's good for you? What's good? They just don't show up at your door unless you're being raided in Montana,
Right.
by IRS agents with a warrant. No, they can't just show up and knock on your door and say, hey, we're going to do an inspection. No, they have to give you notice. You have to coordinate together and say, okay, we're going to do this on this and this date between these hours.
Mhm.
And I'll be there, and you have all your books and stuff ready, and we'll sit down and go through this. That's how it works.
Right. Well, Fiery said, and amazing disgrace. So a judge will sign a fucking warrant. Like, we're past the point where the law applies. They don't care. They just do. Like Amazing said, they don't care about the law anymore, and that's evident here. They don't give a shit what the law says. They're just going to do what they want to do.
Okay, yes, and they might do that, but that warrant would be illegal.
Right.
Because
And it's all illegal. So,
and here's the thing that I have been trying to research and asking around is, first of all, these red flag laws, they're blatantly unconstitutional.
Right.
Okay, they are. My question has been, and I can't get an answer on it from anybody, I'm an FFL. I have firearms in my safe that are listed on my books as they're not mine. They're my company's.
gotcha.
I've entered them into my books as getting them from an FFL, and they have not been sold or transferred. So somebody serves a red flag on me, and they come in and destroy my safe, and they confiscate these guns that are on the books for the for ATF.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the point where we're at, Fast, is that they just don't care anymore. They don't care what the law says or that it's going to get struck down. Because, like, I think it was you that said it earlier. They're going to confiscate the weapon, and even when ordered to, they're not going to give you the damn thing back. You're never getting it back.
That was somebody in chat. I think that might have been Fire.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it was somebody in
It
chat.
could have been Fire. I couldn't remember, but they're not giving it back.
Yeah.
Same thing that's happening with these red flags all across the country. They're not giving them back. They seize them and they keep them.
But here's the thing. I've got bound books that say I'm in possession of this serial numbered firearms, and it's not been disposed of because it was seized by somebody under some bullshit red flag laws, and I don't get it back. I'm on the hook for a lost gun.
Yeah.
For federal charges.
Yeah. Then they're going to hit you with that too. You're gonna appeal it. You're gonna ask for it back, and they're gonna either threaten you or come at you directly and say, oh, "Well, you lost a gun, so you're going to prison now. Fuck off." And that's to the point where we are now, and that's what's so scary about this.
it's not only that. You know that one of the things that Biden did, he made an executive order through Merrick Garland to the ATF for the Zero Policy Act.
Uh-huh.
And so they're sending these IOIs out. And if they find any one discretion, just a simple typographical clerical error, they revoke their FFL and shut them down.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they've done it. Look up the statistics that they have done since 2020. Or was it 2020 or 2021? I think it started in the latter half of 2020, and it's gone till now.
Wow.
They are yanking FFL licenses from hundreds of FFLs. So they can't take your guns. And now
They're going to make it so you can't get them.
You can't buy a gun unless you buy it through an FFL, but they're yanking all the FFLs.
Mm-hmm. Because if they can't remove them and they can't find another way around it, they're going to start chipping away slowly, and take every single bit of it. That's
yeah,
the plan.
and you effectively put these people into bankruptcy. I mean, that's their business. They sell guns. They do gunsmithing. I mean, she mentioned gunsmithing. You have to have an FFL to do gunsmithing. If you do that for profit, you have to have a federal firearms license, because you have to be able to take that gun in, receive that gun, put it in your books. If you have it overnight. Now, if you have it less than 24 hours, you don't have to. So if somebody comes in and say, oh, they want their sights changed on their Glock, they bring it in. I break out my tools, take the gun apart, boom, I get my sight changer out, my sight pusher, push the sights off, put the new sights on, put it back together, hand them a bill, they hand me some cash, and they go away. I don't have to put that in my books. But if I keep the gun overnight, I have to put that in my gunsmithing book.
Huh.
The serial number, the make, the model, the caliber, the person's name, address, the date, and then the line over on the disposition side, I have to put the exact same information and the date that they picked it up. So that's something else a lot of people don't understand. They say, well, I bought a guy so nobody knows I have this gun, but I took it to gunsmith to have some work done on it. Well, if he kept it for a day, it's in his books.
Wow. Hey, what's up, Brad?
Hey, how's it going?
I figured you were as passionate about this as the rest of us, so fuck it. You should get in here.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Well, my dad gave up his FFL because he was a cop for decades. And he didn't know, like, a gun he had sold someone like 10 years before, that they found the whole paper trail. And he was the detective in a suicide investigation and didn't realize it was a gun he had sold to another guy who sold it to another guy, and didn't report it to his department. And so he gave up his FFL over that. So it's crazy.
What do you mean he didn't? What didn't he report to his department? That he sold a gun to somebody?
He didn't report because he didn't realize it was a gun he had sold over a decade earlier to a different person who then sold it. So when he investigated the suicide,
right,
they came back to him eventually and said, well, you sold this gun. Why did you not tell us? Yeah, it's crazy because it changed hands.
You don't have to tell them.
No, I know. But that's how fucking crazy it is.
And, and once that firearm gets sold to another individual, the paper trail stops.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would they even know that this guy committed suicide. First of all, why would they even be tracing a gun on a suicide?
I don't know, but I don't know if maybe the other cop he sold it to that sold it to the guy who offed himself said, well, I bought it from my dad and fucking ratted him out or something, even though it's not, my dad did nothing wrong.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Everybody that's on the panel, everybody that's in chat.
Yep.
If you've ever bought or sold a gun off of another private individual, has anybody ever done that? I have.
Yes.
Okay.
Nope.
Did you ever write the serial numbers down?
Yes.
In a book? You have.
Not in a book. On a sheet in my fire safe.
Okay, so in a book, on a pad of paper, something. But most people don't. And my point is, most people they buy a gun from somebody, they shoot it for a couple of years, and say, okay, I want a different gun. They find somebody that wants to buy this one. Hey, yeah, I'll sell you this one. I'm going to go buy a different one. They never write the serial numbers down that they bought it. Like we do as FFLs, I have to write the serial numbers down in my book, ATF books, and I got to write the serial number down when I dispose of it, acquisition and disposition.
Okay.
Most people don't. You buy a gun, you buy it, you have it, you never write the serial number down. Now you should in case it's stolen, but most people don't. And then you sell it. There's no way to track that firearm.
No.
Right. Well, unless
The
it's
only-
a pistol in Michigan.
The only way that you can track a firearm, they can start from the manufacturer to FFL to FFL and to the last person it was sold to. That's it. And that person says, like, shit, I sold that gun 20 years ago. Who to? Fuck, I don't know. Some fucking John Doe,
Right.
Yeah, because my dad hasn't been an FFL dealer for years, but I think he still has most, if not all, of his paperwork for it.
Oh. As soon as he gives up his FFL, he has to mail all that shit to ATF.
Oh, then he did that. I mean, he was still like he wasn't in trouble as a cop at the time, but yeah, so I'm sure he did that then.
Yeah, he should. There's nothing he should be in trouble for. He did absolutely nothing wrong from everything
Exactly.
that I'm getting from you. You know, that's this whole thing that people are trying to trying to sue the gun seller, the gun store, the manufacturer because some fucking nut job went and killed people with a gun.
Well,
Yeah, right.
and my state just added the law where for every firearm transferred, even from family members, you have to pay for the background check. So,
Holy shit.
unfortunately, when bad things happen, I'm going to have to pay thousands of dollars.
That's pretty much illegal.
To inherit my dad's guns, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Now,
illegal, but again, they don't give a shit. They're still
what's-
going to do it, and then they'll
if you-
confiscate them.
If you don't mind, do you mind telling me what state?
Minnesota. Keith Ellison, baby.
Fuck Minnesota.
Uh-huh. I agree.
Yeah, completely unconstitutional.
Yep.
Lost all his boats in a gunning accident. I think you said that backwards. But
Huh?
he lost all his boats in a gunning accident. I think that was upside down, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Unless
no,
it's a handgun, which is a requirement for registration in this stupid state. Yeah, in Michigan, you have to register handguns and take them to your local police department with registrations and numbers and all that shit
there's a federal law
Licensing.
against that.
Mm-hmm. I have them right here.
Yep.
I'll fucking send you one, Tony. Sorry, pass. Shit.
All right, that's all right.
We have to fill out a form and take it to our local sheriff and send it to the state of Michigan.
Fast Group is my company, so I mean, I'm not hiding behind anything.
Okay.
And
I just try not to. If I
understand.
And I'm not going to lie, when I got in trouble, I had my gun unloaded and cased and dismantled in my trunk, and they literally did bullet samples and casing shots to keep as evidence for that gun for forever. I did get
Holy
it
hell.
back, but yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, that's junk science, and there's
I know.
actually just been a court case out of Maryland that just said that all this ballistics is bullshit. It doesn't hold up. You cannot tell what came out of what gun. You take 100 guns off the line that just came off the line, and you shoot bullets through them. You don't know which fucking gun it came out of.
Yeah, they're machined too well nowadays.
Well, exactly. It's all CNC. It's all the same tooling. You use the same tool for, 1,000 guns before you have to change the cutting tool if you're rifling. Or if you're chambering a gun, you use that reamer for 1,000 times until it wears out. It's going to leave the exact same tool marks every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
JSD's all my boats and guns got sent to Ukraine. I believe that. You're Zelensky's boyfriend, so it probably did, these.
Yeah, if you look up Aberquav, ABRUQUAGH, I think it is, Aberquavi, Maryland. It was just decided a few months ago that refuted a guy on appeal got overturned because it showed that all this, case matching and all that bullshit, it's junk science. Steve Gotti's been saying that for years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I just saw what you named me, Mighty. Thank you.
I was wondering how long it took. I don't know if they can. Yeah, they can see it. Okay, good. So I'm gonna let this play for a couple minutes, just because we have to get through it, gentlemen. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm getting beeping again, so my wife's about to come down and stab me. I don't really want that.
Can you imagine how much your viewership would go up if your wife came down and stabbed you on a live stream?
I think there would be two people that would be very upset,
It'd go
and
up
the rest
one time.
immediately. I would be gone. So, all right, we'll let it play for a minute.
Pause. We will also make available any of these storage and lock boxes or trigger locks at no charge to individuals who ask us for access to such devices.
Who's paying?
In addition, which I don't think will withstand, I believe, any
Taxpayer.
challenge to the public health order.
Exactly.
We're going to compile data much more regularly and routinely about gunshot victims in our emergency rooms so that we know exactly what's occurring in every single emergency room and every single hospital statewide. And we will make sure that we know everything we need to know about the firearm, whether it's lawful, unlawful, what the caliber is, so that we can use that data to do more for bad actors. And any other pertinent information will be made immediately available to law enforcement officials.
As a former medic,
other than
that's already reported every time a gunshot shows up in the ER.
Shall possess a firearm on state property, public schools, or public parks.
Thanks for a reminder.
The
I
New
forgot
Mexico
about that.
Department of Health
Fuck this. I gotta
and
get
the
a
New
drink.
Mexico Environmental Department shall develop a program to conduct wastewater testing for illicit substances, particularly fentanyl, at all public schools. And we're likely to make that available to any other public entity and private entities that invite us in for such testing. The Children, Youth, and Families Department shall immediately suspend the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative and evaluate their current juvenile probation protocols. And what this means is that while we're really working hard, and we should, to redirect a young person's life out of crime and into a responsible environment, We want our kiddos to graduate from school. We want them to be safe. We want
our
them to be good
kiddos?
community members. But when one of
Yeah,
these
her
officers is involved
Yeah.
in a gun
Why
violence
don't
She
you
definitely
situation,
has
change the
many.
fucking
and we have
Department
a
of
12 or a
Education?
13 or a 14-year-old with a firearm, the notion that there's no accountability here must end until we can figure out
I
exactly.
like how she acknowledges
what
the
has
fact
gone
that all
wrong
these
and what
kids
we
are
can do
like
better
juvenile
about it.
detention kids.
So that is suspended
Yeah.
during the term of this particular public health order and likely to extend, if necessary, into another one.
This is the
Department
epitome
of
of
Public
tyranny.
Safety shall immediately
Yeah, she said it's basically going to extend into another order.
resources to Bernalillo County and work with the Albuquerque Police Department and Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office to determine the best use of that resources. Unlike the surge, which worked, it wasn't sustained.
The
And
surge.
the initial surge didn't have all of the operational impacts that it needed, lessons learned, to make sure that we were there in court and the prosecutions were maintained in a productive manner. Those things all addressed, and I should alert our new director that that was a problem in the past, and it's something that we're going to have to make sure that our resources are aligned, including prosecutorial resources, so that we don't let bad actors off the hook because we don't have the right people in the right place with the right information to pursue a prosecution.
What's her bail
I think I'm
policy in New
almost done,
Mexico?
so we can stand for questions. The Department of Public Safety shall coordinate with local law enforcement agencies and district attorneys' offices to assist in the apprehension of individuals with outstanding arrest warrants. We've added another 10 million to that work. They're doing it. But I think we can leverage
10
more
million.
productively across all these jurisdictions. And we have called on the U.S. Marshal's Office to do more. They are doing a ton. We want more. And we're
The U.S.
asking
Marshals are
AFT,
overworked and busy as fuck.
all do their part, and I have sent yet
Yeah,
another
and there's
communication to the
there's
federal
not
government.
that many
I had a call with the
marshals.
director of the U.S. Marshal Service today that they must create a continued presence in New Mexico, given our gun violence and violent crime situations statewide. We will make sure that the order is broadly disseminated in Spanish and English and any other context to make sure that the public knows exactly where we're headed.
How about
Last
English
thing.
first, lady?
We also have a declaration for public health emergency for our substance abuse problem, which is part and parcel. So it's making sure that we can draw down
Any
resources,
connection there?
Yeah,
apply those
substance
resources
abuse and
in
guns.
every
No
context
fucking shit.
possible, so we can get our arms around this continuing threat to our own public safety, freedoms, way of life in this state.
Sorry for dropping the F-bombs, Mighty, but you're over 2 hours at least.
I want to
He
state
doesn't
one more
care. I
time,
dropped it within
they
like 10
they
seconds.
did not involve themselves
I did in
in
the
the
first
drafting of this public
minute
health
I was
order
on here.
and are likely not to agree with the totality of the first initial steps, but agree completely.
As long as you
that
don't use the
smart
other F word.
leveraging of resources and the
The other F
declaration of
word?
an emergency creates
Yes,
opportunities
the bundle
to
of
work
sticks
together in
word.
a more
That one will get him
sustained and
yeeted.
meaningful way.
I'm
If I
not
didn't
gonna
say
do
that
that.
right, you're free to correct me, of course.
Bundle of
Did I say it right?
sticks?
Don't worry about
Close
it. If you
enough?
don't know it, you don't know
Okay, I
it.
want to make
Yeah,
sure
I
I
don't
don't
know it.
misrepresent their work or their presence here. All right.
The Film Actors
I am
Guild.
available for questions.
Okay, I want to get your response from what Representative Lane
Yeah.
had to say, in particular, wording it, is that despite billions of revenue, the state is not funded meaningful criminal justice reform, including reckless pretrial release policies and behavioral health rehabilitation. What's your response to his criticism?
I think his criticism is fair in the context of whether or not we're getting enough of our policymakers to really understand the situation that I think we are currently in, which is incredibly dangerous. I have supported
Truth.
the minority
tits.
leader, and I got a letter from all of the Republican members of both the state and the House and the Senate about pretrial detention. Well, I didn't need that letter, but I'm grateful for it. when I introduced it over the past
the
several
second
years.
part of
I will
this.
continue to introduce
On
it.
the
She didn't need a letter.
Following the federal
Just keep
system
him detained
and having,
indefinitely for no fucking reason.
a rebuttable presumption that if it's a repeat and violent offender, that those folks should have no ability to be released pending that rebuttable, right?
Yeah,
debate
they
about why
possibly could
they're
have been
not
in
too
Washington on
dangerous
January
to be held
6th.
until the trial.
Possibly.
I'll ask for that again, and I have asked for any number of criminal penalty enhancements. Some of them have gotten through. I've asked for any
As
number
long as they
of
don't
gun
have
violence
Liberty
reforms.
Safe, they'll be
We've
fine.
gotten many through the state legislature.
God, I
It
want
would
to
be
go in her
unfair
back door.
not to thank them for their courage. And one last thing about that.
You
I'm
know
gonna
all
need
those other
all the
safe
local
companies will sell out in a second too.
that they
Mhm.
have tools at
Well-
their disposal, including extreme risk protection orders.
There's no
that
safer
not
place than
every
my crotch.
jurisdiction, I think takes very
People are bitching about Liberty
the
Safes,
law,
but
and when someone
they pretty much
requests
all
that
use the
that
same
be
lockpick.
undertaken or evaluated,
Mhm.
I would beseech
It's not
every
the safe
jurisdiction to do that.
Well, no, the
If
company
you
straight
didn't
up
see
gave away
in
like
that article that
information. It wasn't like a
basically said,
back.
I'm
It wasn't
paraphrasing,
truly a
New
back door. It was
Mexico's
like,
done
here's the
good
combo.
work. Effective leadership and
Yeah,
early
I'm-
evidence-based, right, reduction in gun violence policies.
As someone
They
who
aren't
rekeys
actually
door locks and
utilized.
deadbolts all the time,
Well,
it's
we should be
not
utilizing all
that
of those, and
hard.
I'm always open to
Yeah.
evidence-based strategies that I think will reduce.
And if nothing
gun
else, you
violence,
just use a torch
including,
and cut
which
it.
they did ask
And
for,
they
but I
will.
put on the call. I will ask
Well,
for another ban on assault.
Easiest way to
weapons.
open a safe is an
Note
angle
that
grinder.
Not everyone sitting at this table will support
Wait a minute. I think we
She
just
just
missed
said
something.
another one.
What'd she say?
open to evidence-based strategies that I think will reduce gun violence, including, which they didn't ask for, but I will put on the call. I will ask for another ban on assault weapons, and I should note that not everyone sitting at this table will support that idea either. But it's
So
something
the
that
first
I
one
believe
didn't work.
needs to
Let's
be
do
done
another.
around
Well, no, they didn't get it passed.
New Mexico. Don't know, Kevin,
Rightfully
what my odds
so.
are. We'll have to wait and see.
They're like, well, we got to try again.
Holy shit.
How will this gun ban in Albuquerque be enforced, and what will be the penalties?
So those are very complicated
Is her
questions.
microphone an actually black
With,
penis?
Our Department of Public Safety
Yeah.
and our own attorneys.
I don't know,
and,
but I can show her what one looks like.
the,
Probably.
yes. In this
Aw,
context,
thank you,
I've directed
Lorraine.
a civil order.
I know that's
so
not
I've
true, though.
basically suspended your ability to do that. In this context, we're likely dealing with misdemeanors. And so 4 misdemeanors, if you did it 4 times, is a felony. They're hard to enforce. What I would like to be able to say to the general public, that it's easy to enforce. They're all an automatic felony that go with automatic jail time. That would take a very specific change in the law that doesn't exist.
Misdemeanors are easy as
If
fuck to
everyone did it,
enforce. That's the
like it would be
majority.
challenged. You would
Mhm.
have fewer risks on the street. And I could safely to say to every New Mexican, and particularly those folks living in Albuquerque and Bernalillo County, I believe that you're safer for the next 30 days. You'll have to wait and see, but that would be my
Jesus
here's an
Christ.
example.
You've only
I
got
don't
1
think
month,
that it
bitches.
is anyone under the current situation because they can't enforce civil orders. So if you're out under this order, if it stands, notice I said if, and I think I warned everyone that we
You know
expect
it's
to
not.
challenge.
Right.
probably
You're
while
just trying to
writing
gain
this.
political
Yep.
capital.
And that's
That's
the
it.
way.
Mhm.
But I have to take a tough, direct stand where basically I'm just ignoring.
Oh,
the
you
fact
want to
that
act
we
tough.
lost an 11-year-old, another child, and every single
I'm just doing this
text,
for the
call,
media.
that I get every single day. People with guns
No
on the
forbidden.
trails.
There's
people
no
with
court.
guns
It's just
and
automatic.
kids in their cars.
Automatic
Wait,
felony.
Kids with
You're
guns in the
talking
parking
about
lots.
people with
at
guns
schools.
on the
America.
Kids with
trails?
guns at our parks. Kids with guns in downtown.
Kids with
Albuquerque.
guns. Yeah, that's already
Shooting
fucking
occurred
illegal.
in downtown Albuquerque,
Mhm.
and I was horrified to learn.
Then
that 2
just
weekends
make
ago,
kids
somebody with
illegal.
an automatic weapon was shooting.
Fuck, I mean, come
Ryan.
on. Just fucking arrest all kids. That way they won't have
I don't know
guns.
how anyone.
No
Put 'em
kids.
Put them in jail till they're 18 and then let
I
them
don't know
out.
how that person had my cell phone.
If you're under
This is
18,
the
straight to
climate
jail.
we're responding to.
Exactly.
So
Solves the problem,
the
right?
State police aren't bound
Yep.
by those same issues. and are required to enforce any of the public orders or emergency orders that I
See,
have the
she's
power
going to use the state fucking police,
having more police
saying
presence.
she has control over them completely.
And that's why the state
Mhm.
police chief that was sitting to her left looked like he was fucking being held by gunpoint.
They could make that arrest on that
Mhm.
misdemeanor. That's how it would be enforced.
Because if
I
not,
wonder
he's
if-
going to get removed from his job and his pension.
I was going to say, I wonder if he's appointed or
We're gonna
elected.
send more, and they're working on those resource allocations.
I
and
got
the
3
person who's
words
gonna
for
make
this
sure that we
bitch.
can do that productively.
Sheriff
is our
Grady
new
Judd.
director, former chief of state police. Pete
He's
Casellas.
right next door.
No, we're working on that, but.
Grady Judd is
I'd like
feckin'
to refer
awesome.
To it as a significant.
Grady Judge is the
presence.
sheriff of Polk County,
And,
Florida, and he doesn't put up with shit.
The nearly 200.
Oh no,
That has been made
I love his
available
press
for
conferences.
recruitment and
If
retention.
you pull a
fucking
gun
my
on our
geography.
deputies, we're going to shoot you
More
dead.
police officers. We have 1,000
It's
People-
that simple.
police officers.
I love that
So when
one
we
where
do
he's.
these efforts,
People
it
ask why
does
we
create
shot him
a strain
141
in other
times.
jurisdictions.
Well,
We
because
ran out of
ran out of bullets. Yep.
We send a very clear and strong message that what's happening in our state, and particularly today in the
Clear and
largest
strong
cities,
message. The only
unacceptable.
strong message is
We
you hate
believe
law-abiding
that
citizens. So
we
why would
create
anybody
safer
follow the law?
situations around the state.
Well,
So
think
that's
about it.
our goal.
Think about it. What are they actually trying to do? They are actually trying to make
Empower
law-abiding
criminals.
citizens. No, they're trying to make law-abiding citizens criminals. They're
Correct.
trying
And
to
then
make
empower
everyone
I have
criminals.
not heard back
to
from,
make everyone a criminal.
The US
to take
Attorney
the guns
General,
away from
but
everybody.
I continue to send letters.
Well,
They're trying to
and
take
worse than
guns.
that.
And
They're
If
trying.
if they make everyone criminals, they have control over everyone completely.
That's what I was trying to say.
That's my job.
Yes.
They're not
Once
even
they-
trying to make.
Keller and I have had a conversation
That's
today.
too
He
messy,
stands ready
and those
to
can get
assist in
that gets
whatever way, and I
expensive, and
think
it
the
takes
fact
too
that
long.
we've got the police
What they're
chief
trying to do
who
is put so
candid
much
about the
fear
things
into
that
the
we could do
individual that they
better
voluntarily
in,
give
the
it
state
up,
police,
because then there's no
effort,
challenge.
things that we can
Oh yeah,
do
that's the
They're
interim.
trying to
to
put
our,
so much
juvenile
fear into
probation
you
and
that if
parole
you're
is a
out with
strong
your gun,
indication that
with
it's
your
gonna take all of us
constitutional
working
right,
together, and I got that
you're going to
commitment
prison.
from the mayor today.
And you
and I
know
wanna
damn
make
well they're
clear,
going to make it
the
stick.
mayor has not been in
Yep.
the way. The mayor is
They can't
not
make it.
telling us not
They
to do
they
it.
can't make it
But
stick.
we have to take.
There's
create a
been too
standard
many
where all
recent
of us
Supreme Court
are
decisions.
feeling, I hope,
They can't.
clarity.
But what it
that
is,
this
again, the
has to
process
change.
will be the
Using
punishment.
every tool we
Mhm.
can until we've exhausted every
Because
idea, every tool,
even if
every
you
strategy,
win,
every
you
legislative
lose. You've
aspect,
lost
every bit
everything.
of it, all of
You've
it,
lost your
altogether.
house. You've
It
lost
cannot
everything you
stand,
own.
and I
You've
think
probably
that,
lost
that's
your
the mayor's
family.
position as well.
Mhm.
He doesn't have.
Yeah,
the
you
same
spent
Lost your reputation.
that I do.
hundreds of thousands of dollars,
And it
plus,
also allows the mayor.
and yeah,
which I
it's all
suggested
gone.
to do,
And you
request for
won, but
emergency funds
you have
to apply
nothing.
down
You're
to
destitute.
his, experts
Yep.
and expertise
So,
in his police jurisdictions in a meaningful way.
What year was Zimmerman's trial? Anybody
A
remember?
while ago.
It's been what, 20 years ago?
Mm,
Probably 10 or
the reason I
15.
did that is because it's lawful in
Let
New
me see.
Mexico.
I'm trying to remember if I still
So
lived.
am I suspending that
in Florida
it's
when
not
that
like I
happened.
can create a
Well,
new law.
Look
or
at Kyle
So what I
Rittenhouse.
can do is when you violate a public.
Well,
He
health
can't even get a
it's the
job.
lowest
10
level
years.
of violation. And that is an enforcement
July
issue.
13th, 2013 is when
But
his
again,
trial was officially
this is
the guilty or the not guilty verdict was
And if
in.
no one challenges it, I'm
10 years
happy
ago.
not to have a challenge to all the people that
Oh,
are
okay.
thinking about it.
And that was for
The point is this: we better have a debate about what's necessary.
I mean,
to
there's
reduce the number.
there's still
of
people saying Kyle
particularly
Rittenhouse
illegal
shot black
firearms
people.
And
Yeah,
our
right.
ability to go after bad
well,
actors.
there's still people saying
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
these
stuff
bad
about
actors steal
both of those
legitimately
cases.
purchased
But,
firearms.
Mhm.
Zimmerman. I think
There are
Zimmerman
too
had
many.
$3 million
We have
worth
to
of
do
billed
more.
hours.
It should
Mhm.
horrify every
First attorneys.
American and every
Now,
New Mexican
they're never going to get that. They know that.
that so many
Right.
young people
But that was
and
the
so
hours
many
that they were
individuals
billed.
with no
And
training,
Dan
with
West
reckless
Was the
criminal
lead
behavior,
counsel on that.
are openly carrying firearms
And
in our communities.
He's probably one of the
horrified.
best fucking attorneys there are in this country. Criminal defense attorneys.
Yes, all the examples you cited are crimes, kids shooting at other kids.
I'm not going to state what Kim Potter's legal bills were but luckily the police union covered them. But she still got screwed over so bad. So
Three
Oh,
things.
that was
One,
I covered
it's
every
a
minute of that
statewide
trial.
issue, and it's a message to everyone.
And
start leveraging your resources and arresting.
That was just fucking ridiculous.
Jurisdictions come at this, including
I know her.
restrictions.
I know her fast and used to work with her when I was a medic.
Arresting, and where do they go?
Really?
Make sure that everyone is bumping up their services. It's a message to
My
the
old man was on the department with
It's
her.
a message to the HMOs. You better figure out.
Well,
treatment.
I know she's
We have
out
been
now,
sort of
and I'm glad
stalled
she's out.
to
And I
your
hope
point.
that
This order basically says stop
that she's
stalling
able
out,
to have
and
a
to your
good
point,
rest of her
just
life.
arrest
'cause
everyone.
That was bullshit.
Well, I
Yep.
also have to have the ability. I can't arrest everyone. There are literally too many people to
And I'm
arrest.
the
This would allow us, huh?
I was just gonna say I'm the first person that will throw a bad cop under the bus.
Oh,
I
yeah,
did when I
absolutely.
did when I was a cop. I did it. I fired a guy
But
for
maybe they should be.
shit.
And this is the
Hey,
point.
Meat, what was this last question that was asked?
Anything and everything within
Uh,
a
it was about
shred of evidence-based
kids
effort.
already can't possess guns,
Because
so
if
how will
you're
this law
not
work?
horrified that
And it's been bullshit.
on
And
any street corner in too many cities
real
in
quick,
New Mexico,
the cloud
there
pit
is
strategy is
someone
focused on overloading
with
the
a
system in
gun
order to
sticking out of their
participate or
waist or their
precipitate the
belt.
crisis and take control of Marxist
And
lawlessness,
I'll
drugs,
tell you,
violence,
if
and
you're
riots.
if you're
Yep, they're
a
doing a
young
damn
person,
good job
you're
at it.
not allowed to have a handgun.
It's a crime already.
I got it, but we won't be able to arrest all of them. So imagine just in
It's a crime already, but we can't arrest them all. So screw
this
you.
was
You don't
upheld,
get to have one
it
legally.
gives all of these police officers the ability to focus on the real criminals.
Last follow-up.
Yeah.
You took
But
You're
your
not
point is
focusing
valid.
on criminals.
To the Constitution, isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carrying license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No
And this is what
Ooh.
in my view,
This is what
including my
fucking
oath,
Coop did to our government.
is intended to be absolute. There are restrictions on free speech. There are restrictions on my freedoms. In this emergency,
What restrictions on free speech? I can scream fire in a crowded theater. If there's a fucking fire,
to have the debate about whether or not in an emergency we can.
Oh,
create
they're
safe
trying to
environments.
arrest
What about their constitution?
Owen Schroyer,
I took an oath to
Mhm.
uphold those two. And if we ignore
wanting to put
this
him in
growing
prison
problem
because he was
with
at the
people
Capitol
who
telling
believe-
people
I've said
not to
every
go
other
inside the
Mexican,
building with Alex
your
Jones.
rights are
Yep.
subrogated to theirs.
oh yeah.
And they are
And they're
not.
trying to say that because of his speech, he needs to go to prison.
Crimes. There are already laws against.
Enrique Tarrio wasn't even
But
in the
again,
city when it happened.
I'm unsafe.
Right.
And he got the longest sentence.
Who's standing up for that right? If this climate is so out of control,
Hey,
There's been
somebody
a
should do
certain
something.
police department beat
I'm
my
doing as
friend's
much
niece
as
to
I know
death
to
with
do.
clubs at the Capitol.
Yep.
Do you really think that criminals are going to hear this message?
Yeah, there's
Do you think that criminals are going to hear this message?
You know, everybody
What the heck
talks
is she
about.
gonna
no.
say?
Everybody
No,
talks
she
about.
does
But
not
here's
think
what I
criminals
do
will
think.
listen.
It's a pretty resounding message to
Everybody
everybody
talks
else
about
in that
Ashley
community
Abbott
to report
getting
it.
shot at the
To tell
Capitol.
us
Nobody
what's going
talks
on,
about
to
Roseanne
aid
Boylan
law
getting beat to
enforcement,
death
to do
by a
something
female
different. I'll tell you
police
what
officer
people think, and it's
with a
not
club.
true. So, Chief, thank you for your work. And Chief, thank
Plenty
you
of
for your
video.
work. How many of you have been told by a business or a citizen, it's all of you, by the way, that they call or they ask for help and no one will show up or do anything about a crime, particularly even a violent crime? How many times have you heard that? Once every day?
it's because all the
10 times
retards
every week?
film it instead
Well, I
of
hear it.
taking action.
So if this encourages the public to help us create a safer environment, I'm in.
Oh, really?
So it does do
Let's
that.
talk about Aaron Dean.
People want action. That's my belief. They want every possible action. And I'm doing everything I know to do. And I think showing a little courage, even when the clarity of
Again
that
with the
courage being
courageous bullshit.
challenged is worth the fight.
What?
Madam Governor, kind of a follow-up with that. Earlier today, APD held a press conference, and there was a question asked about keeping criminals behind bars.
Mhm.
Is there going to be a push from you in order to keep repeat offenders.
I'm punishing the good guys. Look how courageous I am.
A push for
Yeah.
judges to enact some sort of order them from having pretrial.
I'm the
detention.
tyrannical
There's
bitch.
nothing in the way in which they're currently required, including every due process aspect, that prevents them from holding a dangerous person behind bars or a repeat offender. So yes, I expect that to occur. And yes, we expect there to be more prosecutions. And yes, we expect there
Well,
to
let
be
me ask you,
the
Madam Bitch,
appropriate right
are
accountability
you not being a
measures,
criminal right
including
now?
jail time. We expect all of that. It is
Called
time
treason.
for every piece of the law enforcement, public safety environment to work better together.
She's
Isn't it?
actively
And I don't
endangering
have
the
to be the
public.
only one.
Exactly.
talking
That
it.
was my point.
Yep.
You know, I think it's important that we recognize that there are certain things, we agree on a lot of things. There's some things we don't agree on. But I think that's the beauty of this, is we could still all sit here and recognize that we have to work together. And I invite.
Oh, I want to tell a joke, but I don't know if it'd get eaten mighty, so I'm not gonna.
How do we get the right
Yeah,
resources
let's
out there
refrain.
to make sure detention centers-
This
Yep,
is already
I'll-
going to
know
get tagged
that
and
is the
flagged and
largest-
fucked. It's not going to be the reason.
I'll tell you in Discord sometime.
I want to ask a question. Do you have to have a green card to have a badge?
Level of crimes that they commit.
You're not allowed to have
No.
a badge even with a green card. You have to be a citizen.
Okay, just
Unless you're in
wondering.
Chicago.
Right.
Because then you get the right resources they want.
I'll just start with the opening line. Do you know Mexican judo?
I think that we're looking at this as a
I'll
whole,
tell you
Yeah,
the
let's
rest later.
how we keep more people incarcerated.
Jacob, thanks for going over to Rumble
How
to
we
say,
work
fuck
together
this
to
commie
serve
cunt, though. I appreciate that.
5,000. Like the governor said, we don't agree on everything, but that's the beauty of being able to work together, and that's the beauty of us working as one team.
So you don't agree on everything, but you're gonna follow what she says because it's working together.
He's just
How'd that
following
work?
orders.
How'd that work at Nuremberg?
What's the governor doing? What is the AG doing? What's the
I was just doing my job, man.
Yeah, man. I'm doing my job.
Chief said we had arguments in here before, and we had robust arguments. The whole point is, what can we do, just not for the whole state, but specifically what we're in charge of is Bernalillo County. At the same time, we're not going to tell you every operation that we're doing, but we're not only just tired of it, we're seeing people die in the process of waiting for everything to happen, waiting for everything to be perfect, waiting for all the people power.
No,
that we're
it's
supposed to
been
give for
really
our
fucky
office, our
lately.
agency. We
It's
can't do
been
that anymore.
really
So
inconsistent.
we're working together. So here we are. Here's a
No,
photo
she
of
already
the
said
state
she's going to
police
double
selection
down and
committee,
add
the
more
director, the governor. We have a bunch of resources that we can
if it
utilize
fails.
to make sure that we start making a dent. As far as the questions you had earlier,
You know, I was a cop and a paramedic for 14 years. I've seen a lot of fucking people die
we cannot force people
Yeah.
to
in all types of different
we are telling
violence.
you, if you are committed
I was a medic for 12.
to catch you, we're going to force you.
Well, EMT first and then medic.
That means the judge has to make.
Well,
a
I
decision
was
whether they stay in
EMT, advanced
or
EMT,
whether
and
they have
paramedic.
diversion. I'm not
You had to
gonna
work
sit
your
here
way
as the
through.
Bernalillo County Sheriff
Yep, that's how I did it also.
in San Mateo or Wyoming and in the central area.
I worked in 3 different states: Indiana, North Carolina, and Florida.
And deal with them because we don't want to get in trouble.
I just did Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Coming, we just talked about and talked to the MDC chief or the warden to make sure that they're ready. We have to do something now. We can't sit here and have debates. We can't wait for the 30-day session.
When I talked about it earlier with the ballistics test, my first divorce, I wound up getting popped for a DUI, and that's what ended my career.
So let's say this month goes exactly as you're hoping. You win.
That was 12 years ago, so.
Really good for the whole thing. What's after that? What would you hope to follow?
I would hope that data, if this holds, and
Yeah, and the only
it
people that,
works,
when you made that
and we make a
statement earlier,
decision whether we can
the only
remove
people that
the
do those
order,
tests
the
are
public emergency and the epidemic
are
is
lab
over, and it's
tests.
not over in 30 days.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
gets shot,
This group would ask us
they
to
go to
modify,
they go to crime
use
labs.
data to identify.
Yeah, anytime a gunshot showed up in the ER, it was immediately reported, and our medical records were kept for extended times for those.
It allows me to marshal resources. on
Yeah,
the
ours weren't.
side,
Only the hospital.
Drug addiction and drug abuse.
Oh, okay.
unlock-
The only
I
ones we, yeah,
I mean-
we kept
Our run
or
reports,
any
our run
number of
reports might have been
currently have access
kept in
to.
with them. I
It
don't know.
allows me
We
to
did our run
take
report,
to
turned it over to the
hospital,
ER, and
where they're supposed to be doing it.
we
but
left, and we turned our other run report into our department. But
to
what the
us.
hospital did with
That
them, I don't
gunshot.
fucking know. I mean,
They
I
have
know
to
I
have
was in a
it.
few
Where did it come from? What do
depositions,
we know
but
about it? Do they know it?
No, like the only ones I know we kept forever were like I was going through records where it was like the 60s and 70s where you couldn't read the writing anymore. But the only records that are quote unquote forever kept are births and deaths.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that we had as a paramedic, we had nothing
I
to
don't
do
want to
with
use
that.
this word.
Our
It's
paperwork
bigger.
got turned over to the hospital. What they did with them, I have no idea.
When I'm out and about as a
Yeah.
Once I left the hospital, I was done with that call.
Accustomed.
Yeah, in Minnesota, they any burn was reported to fire and any gunshot was reported to police.
Largely now about potholes and about beautification, and that's another area that we're going to release some information about shortly.
It's bigger than
Coming into
heartbreaking,
Mexico.
boys.
And those are, I'm
Sorry, I just assumed
well
all your genders.
postured to talk about and position what we're going to do and to hear their ideas.
Stop it.
I don't get any of
I knew I was wrong on you, Red.
I just got
Genders are brain in, Ted.
I'm terrified in my own neighborhood.
Get a gun, woman.
Talk to someone.
Exactly. Jesus fucking Christ.
We had a young person knock on their door at 9:00 at night and said, I
A
always
gun
open the
person?
door. And it turned out that this was a kid raising money for, a sports thing. But for far too long.
Why are they doing it at 9 p.m. at night?
No shit.
You shouldn't be terrified in your own neighborhood. And you are. You're terrified. So
Get a fucking gun.
That didn't
If you had a
happen.
gun,
time for us to be bolder,
people wouldn't do
bigger,
that shit.
better, more direct,
That didn't happen,
and to
though.
try
There's no
tools
fucking way that
may
happened.
not
The way she told
make
it.
sense to some of you.
We know
and
all the neighbor kids type
in
of
this
thing.
context.
Like in our in the subdivision I grew up in.
Robust response.
A person comes over at 9:00 at night. You're like, who the hell tried to touch you?
Director.
Retired state police chief that's very happy being retired to come back into the building he swore he never stepped foot in, and that's the compelling call from the governor saying, "Yeah, I have a position for you."
That guy with that uniform and hat on,
that position,
I'll guarantee you he's wearing a gun.
I'm out of a job in 30 days, maybe
Yep.
60 days, depending on how long this order stood up. It's because I can work.
Take guns away from citizens, take them away from cops. See how things last.
This table, and I have history with them, both chiefs and the sheriff. Sometimes not.
And it will be the purge.
But the reality is that I want.
I mean, that's exactly what they're trying to create.
Well, they're trying to. Another thing, and Red, you got disconnected, so if you're still around, just jump back in and I'll let you in. Another thing that they're trying to do, certainly, is they're trying to get conservatives and people like you and I to do some stupid shit so they can clamp down even more.
Oh, absolutely.
That's one of their biggest things. That's what they were hoping January 6th was. It didn't work out the way they wanted it to, and they need an event. So they're trying to push and trying to piss us off as much as humanly possible so that they can just take it.
Yeah, so they can say, see these crazy gun nut right wingers.
Yep.
But they're shoving the middle pole into the bike spokes. They just need to not do that because they're gonna fucking flip over the handlebars and complain that they're getting fucking scrambled on the floor.
But they have to do something because their own base, their own liberals are the ones committing the crimes.
Illegally possessing guns illegally.
It's not conservatives. It's not constitutionalists.
Opening businesses, having employees
It's
go
fucking,
there.
and I hate to say it, but welfare thugs.
This American order gives us some of those tools and helps kickstart that. A lot of great work's being done. I hope to coordinate that with the three leaders here.
Yeah. The government created the problem by not enforcing the law, and now plan to solve the problem by making citizens criminals. It's called the Hegelian theory.
I think this is gonna
Hegelian theory. And what that is
a market impact
is
as
you
well.
have a
If it
political.
doesn't, something else is coming. Enough is enough.
I don't want to say
Enough
party,
is
but a
enough.
political section creates an imaginary problem that doesn't exist, but they create the problem. They convince the public that there is a problem. Then they convince the public that they have the solution to the problem. so that they can institute rules against the public that never existed before.
Yep.
Can I just do it? Yeah, I think.
And that's what it is
I'm
in a
gonna,
nutshell.
Thank Milan for his really tough questions. They're fair.
And that's exactly what they're doing now.
Concealed
And
and open carry, because
they are
if you
identifying a
could
problem
modify
as
that with
gun
evidence
violence.
Just that you're safer.
It's not gun violence, it's
But I can't
violence.
for 30 days.
Right.
If I can turn
But they're
down,
creating a problem
no, it's
by
not illegal
labeling
for
it as
a young
guns
person to have an automatic weapon.
so they can create a
Just a handgun.
solution.
Can't
And that
arrest that
solution is
person.
to take away your guns.
If we tell the bad actors, and I realize
Yeah, well,
it's a pinch,
public health
and
emergency.
then some.
It's even
Yeah.
worse than that, man.
Unresponsible
Public health
Exactly.
emergency.
I'm clear.
It's
It
such
is.
bullshit.
She
It's a
literally just
sacrifice.
acknowledged that it's a
It
pinch on
allows
responsible
everyone
gun
else
owners.
to get their arms
Yeah.
around
So it's
a
illegal.
growing, significant
Yeah.
problem. I don't believe anyone here thinks that, that's gonna stand, or that's the best or the number one idea. But I'm doing it because I think that debate and
I
getting into
think
the
I can
session
overreach.
about what does need to work is appropriate. And if not me,
1 minute
then
back.
who?
Is
Do you-
it still
what-
1 minute
Enough is
back?
coming. Enough is enough.
White. Okay, never mind.
Enough is enough.
Okay. Governor, as I was saying last one, I missed it. So last one.
She did that on purpose.
You mentioned that there's people.
Thank you. I went to mute my mic. I don't know what happened.
Curious if anyone wants to step up and speak. What specifically do you disagree with?
Can I just do it? Yeah, I think and I'm going to thank Milan for his really tough questions. They're fair. It's the concealed and open carry, because if we could modify that with evidence that suggests that you're safer if you do, but I can't.
You don't have any.
If I can turn down the temperature, it's not illegal for a young person to have an automatic
God, I
weapon.
hope so.
Yes, it is.
An automatic weapon? Fuck.
If we
Yes, it
tell the
is.
bad
You
actors,
fucking
and I
just
realize
lied.
It's a pinch and then some on responsible gun owners. I'm clear. It is. It's a sacrifice that allows everyone else.
No, it's
to get
I don't
their
want to make
arms
the
around
fucking
a
sacrifice.
growing,
It's not a
significant
sacrifice, and it's
problem.
infringement.
I don't believe anyone
Forced
here
infringement.
thinks that, that's gonna stand, or that's the best or the number one idea. But I'm doing it because I think that debate.
You're doing it because you're a
and getting into the
totalitarian
session
bitch.
about what does
Mhm.
need to work is
If I
appropriate.
Can you all hear me now?
If not me,
Yeah, I can
then
hear.
who
Okay.
is going to initiate the debate? And actually, you asked me, what more would you do? How
Oh,
far?
I
what
just
will
got
it take for you to do
earwormed by
everything
that
you're
song.
talking about? I'm embarrassed to say that it took another
My singing was that good?
child's death.
Uh huh.
We're
The other
gonna
one
keep
that
pushing.
comes to mind is in the
Because
year
pressure-
2525.
In like every other emergency, I didn't pull off a firefighter or stop going into the north until that fire was out. I'm not going to stop yelling at the feds or living in, temporary housing to bring light to that situation until they have their resources. I'm not going to stop pushing on public safety until it's safe.
Huh.
I'm sure
Security over liberty.
I'm sure things
Yeah.
will get adjusted.
Oh wow!
I'm
Did
sure
somebody
I'll
have a
get,
quote about that?
Restrictions that make it clear what I can and cannot
Was it-
do, and we keep fighting. Until every child, every family,
Was
every
it
neighbor,
Benjamin
every
Franklin?
community,
Who did?
every
Who
city,
made
every
that quote?
village
Somebody
is the
correct me.
safest it can possibly be in the state of New Mexico. And I want to
Trying
end
to
with
think.
this.
Uh,
I can do all the public health orders and all the emergency orders I want.
chat will help.
And if I don't have
Somebody.
men and women who are willing to come out of retirement,
She can make all the
stay in
public
their
health
job,
orders that she
and
wants.
deal with
that's the
unimaginable
playbook.
resource
She literally said that
limitations,
As a
verbatim.
poof.
have a growing criminal
Yep.
element who are at risk every single day, who are on every target of every organized crime member's list.
Light rain.
and I'm
I just
sure
was worried about
Organized
saying
crime members like the cartels you keep allowing in?
every day and do this work.
at Light Rain, I was just worried about saying it on
Broad,
Mighty Meats channel.
sweeping challenge to the city that has the most
Fast is just-
significant issues
Fast
today,
is just careful.
and a challenge to the state.
Yeah,
And I'm going to work very hard to make sure none of that, the rest of you find yourself with these two.
and don't get me wrong, not everybody on
Keep
welfare is a
keep
thug by
going.
no means. Welfare is
And as I
is
said, There are plenty.
a
of
very good
neighboring
program for
close.
a certain number of individuals who are
As a
going
But
through
it's
hard
a short
times.
term, not
Like
It's
you
a
exactly
ongoing
Yes.
life.
Mexico, let's
right.
say
It was meant to be a short-term fix where people go through hard times. Normally, the church would have been doing that. That was typically who helped the congregation was the church.
Yeah.
But
quickly, yeah, we'll keep
you know,
flowing.
then when we had the Great New Deal,
Hate him,
it created,
little. When you're
you
an
know,
elected official, you're in a position of power.
it's kind of parallel to Congress
Everybody
critters. You know, they're on it
That's
for life.
what being responsible is. You're not going to
Yep.
win over every issue.
And two of my best friends growing up when I was young were Hmong Laotians, and their family came over obviously after Vietnam,
in my view,
and they were on food stamps for a little while, but once they got on their feet, they got off them.
every elected leader and every elected
So it
position
did help them.
in particular.
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
people
and
say
I've got no
never, ever
problem with that theory of
economic
the
aspects to be
concept.
film,
You know, but
space,
it's not a
manufacturing, not true. When people told me that
It's
I
not
could
a
have 9
frickin'
sectors, that not all 9 could perform above the national
career.
average, I didn't listen.
No.
To we did all 9.
Well, like I said, if I would have known what I could have got in Minnesota when COVID happened, I could have gone back to school and made more like my normal wage plus unemployment, like 600 extra a week,
and he took on his critics
and gone back to school for free for 2 years.
and he created space for the rest of us to have debates about the future of the state.
But I didn't, because I'm not an asshole.
Really missed. And the last thing is, there isn't anyone from this state or anyone readily that comes to mind around.
If I were to have taken unemployment during the
in foreign policy and international
during the plague, I would have made way more money, but I would also have not gotten to where I am in my career.
Right.
Yeah.
We all take the path we're supposed to. Just for clarity's sake, because I know this is everybody's asking the question.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I'll bet he did. I'll bet he did.
Nope. So where are we going? Okay, so we're like 2.5. So So there is a group suing the New Mexico governor. We'll probably let this develop a little bit just because we're deep in, and I like the panel aspect of things better right this minute. But thank you, Bri. I appreciate it, buddy.
I'm guessing
Sorry,
the Second Amendment Foundation and Firearms Policy Coalition would be the first ones on top of that. No?
You would hope so. Let me see. Gun rights group. It doesn't actually say.
Is New Mexico in the Fifth Circuit?
I'm not sure.
This doesn't say in it either.
But I know what from Bronca showing, I'm guessing it's not USCCA.
No.
No. Fuck, I should reach out to Bronca. He'd come on. Maybe I'll do that when we get to the
Hey,
law shit.
I'm an
If
instructor
you do that,
graduate.
for the love of God, have me on the panel with Bronca, please.
Bronca's a good guy. I've been on with him before.
I'm one of Bronca's instructor graduates. I'm one of his
no shit.
instructors.
Nice.
Oh,
New
cool.
Mexico is 10th Circuit.
10th Circuit. Okay.
10th Circuit.
Because I know
Okay.
I know Texas is 5th Circuit, but I didn't know how far it reached out.
Yeah. So this is the playbook. So they use COOF for the health emergency.
Yep.
And then they also this is the playbook for the administration. This is only 2 minutes long, and then so
We want to crack down on the flow of firearms used to commit violence. That includes taking on and shutting down rogue.
Joe
gun
Biden knows a lot about crack.
That's awesome, John.
Doing background checks, as well as outright selling of that, making sure that people who are not allowed to have a gun don't get the gun in the first place. And again, for any of the press listening, this doesn't violate anybody's Second Amendment right.
Bullshit.
Yes, it does,
no violation
dumbass.
of the Second Amendment right. We talk
Yes,
like
it does,
there's
dumbass.
No amendment that's absolute. When the amendment was passed, it didn't say anybody
He's a
could own
fucking
gun and any
potato.
kind of gun, any kind of weapon. You couldn't buy a cannon.
Yes, you could.
Yes, you could.
Literally, they had them in their houses.
Why you should be able to buy certain assault weapons.
They also
Literally,
had
someone wrote it and said
they also
"Can we?"
had
And they said,
automatic
"Yeah."
weapons.
Things that we
They
focus
had an automatic weapon, the pickle gun. Look it up.
Have a real impact on it. Includes going after ghost guns.
Nazi fags.
Ghost guns are the guns everyone
And
in
I
this
got-
room knows that can be
I got
purchased in
hairy
parts,
legs, and
assembled at home,
they get really
no
blonde.
serial number, and can't be traced.
And
they're as
kids
deadly as
would
any
like
other
to
weapon
rub 'em.
out there. But the fact is, they are
That
out
is
there.
like one of the creepiest things I've ever
This
fucking
spring,
heard.
The Justice Department, this
Yeah.
spring, the Justice
What's
Department
that?
will issue a final rule to regulate these so-called.
That is the creepiest, one of the things I've ever fucking heard in my life, and a U.S. president said it.
Sharp
No
increases
shit.
in the number of ghost guns found at crime scenes. That's why today the department is launching an
Vagina.
intensified national ghost
Know
gun
what you're
enforcement
fucking
initiative
talking about.
to determine and deter criminals from using those weapons to cover their tracks. If you commit a crime with a
It just
ghost gun,
pisses me
not
off.
only are state and local prosecutors going to
Did you
God,
see
he's so-
they're going after the FFL dealer that testified with Brandon Herrera in front of Congress about the ATF?
No,
No,
shit.
what?
Really?
Yeah, they're going after his license.
For give me the backstory. What is this?
Brandon Herrera, I don't know if you know who he is. He's AK Guy or AK Jesus on YouTube.
No, don't know.
Okay, he's a gun tuber.
Okay.
He got in trouble because he actually made a replica of the pipe bomb that killed Shinzo Abe and almost killed himself.
Was this the guy who had like the metal cards?
I don't
you're
know.
talking about the auto sear cards or something?
No. No, Brandon Herrera ain't. He's like friends with Donut Operator and Black Rifle Company. They're all in Texas.
Yeah, I don't know that guy, but if he
Demolition
made a
range.
pipe bomb and
Yeah.
almost blew himself up, I mean, I think that's a Darwin Award.
Absolutely.
But,
I mean, I don't know anything about the case, but
is it Matt Gaetz that's the congressman now? Yeah, he called him to testify in front of Congress about the ATF and all the bullshit they're doing. And they had another gunsmith FFL dealer testify. And now they're going after Brandon's friend for his FFL license all of a sudden magically.
Yep.
well, yeah, that's why I was saying earlier in the show that Biden went to Garland to go to the ATF director and institute a zero policy. What the hell am I trying to say?
Zero tolerance policy.
Zero tolerance policy, yes, against FFLs. So, my next compliance inspection, they come in and I'm made a simple clerical error on a document that really has no significance. It's like, nope, they'll take my FFL. They'll close my business down.
Jesus.
And if you look at it, they have closed down almost 300 FFLs last year, as opposed to something like 20 prior to 2020.
Wow.
Yep. Making
Per
them
year.
inaccessible.
Yeah.
Brandon Herrera is running for office in Texas, I believe. So.
Yes, he is. That would be fucking amazing.
Also, I need to correct myself. It was Christopher Irvin, who was the guy selling the metal cards that got arrested by the ATF and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And can you explain a little bit more about those cards? I know
Nope,
they were
not
called-
on YouTube.
They
Oh.
said it was an auto sear. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
a no
and I'm
topic.
a gunsmith, and I've looked at those, and I can't figure out how the hell those things work.
It wouldn't, but still, we can't really go any more further on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But so I think that's going to be it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate the panel, and we'll go around the horn and let everybody griff for a minute. Brian, you want to go ahead?
Nope.
Well, fuck you. Brian is a really good friend of mine. He has a channel called Nucleatic Gaming over on Rumble. He's an awesome dude. Go give him a follow. Go give him a like.
So, what is Nucleatic Gaming? I mean, I've just met you first time tonight, man. Good to be on with you, but I don't know anything about you.
It's my Rumble channel. I just play games every once in a while, put them up, do whatever I want to do. Never finish anything because I'm ADHD as hell, but it is what it is.
If I search you on Rumble, the top four, the only 4 things that fucking come up are your streams with me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Search Nucleatic Gaming in Rumble, and it's just my stream.
Right, but then I pop up on the top as like
Yep.
the user.
Yep, for sure.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, Fast, you wanna grift a little bit?
Yeah, sure. FAST Group. FAST stands for Firearms Services and Training. I'm a gunsmith. I do firearms instruction. I do self-defense law teaching. We have a couple other things. So I do custom leather, belts, holsters, and other stuff. We also have a food business, which is freeze-dried foods. We do that. And, I'm a Gemini, and I like long walks on the beach.
Oh, don't we all?
Yeah, that's about it.
You want to go for it?
Yeah, my podcast is on Anchor. I've only got a few episodes. The studio is almost done, and it will be done soon. And then I'm going to start doing YouTube shite. But thank you all for having me on and Fast. It's nice to meet you.
Hey, it's nice to meet all y'all.
I don't have a link for you. Do you have one handy? Or
Me, no. I'd have to look it up and
fine.
just search Fiery Red Podcast on Anchor.com or on Spotify.
Yep, Anchor.com, Fiery Red.
But yeah, hey, mate. I
What's up,
got to
buddy?
say that I really enjoy this kind of stuff because anytime we can talk about the Second Amendment and the laws of self-defense and all that stuff really is really important to me. I mean, I'm a former law enforcement officer. I'm a former Marine. I worked for the government for the major portion of the first half of my adult life. I've seen that side. And now I'm on the civilian side, and I teach civilians and I teach law enforcement officers how to shoot.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I see the different sides, and I have great respect for the local law enforcement that's out there every day. But man, there's no way in hell I would go back on the street. In today's society. So I love having these conversations and and talking about these issues that's going on. So anytime you want to have something like that and want to have me on, I appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I think it's important to have the conversation too because we're in unprecedented territory.
We live in interesting times.
We certainly do.
We cannot keep yielding rights away.
Well, no, we can't. But what we have to do is we have to figure out a way to not do that, because at every turn that we try to do that, they're using the full weight of the law and made up law to keep everybody down. What is that the definition of? Tyranny.
I was going to say, I already said it.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. So, I mean, can we vote our way out of this? Well, we used to until 2020.
Right.
But now, if anybody, just what I think his name is Owen Schroyer, they're charging him with what are they causing with? Inciting, because he was talking about the fact that the 2020 election was less than legal.
No, fuck it. Say the election's stolen. We can say that now, so we need to say the shit out of it.
Yeah, but the point is, and not only did they go after Trump, they went after his lawyers. Now they're going after media people. So who's the next people they're going to go after?
They're going after more than that, Best.
There's like 1,200 people charged for 9/6, or not 9/6, January 6th, but then fucking they can't figure out who brought coke into the White House.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
That's another thing. What's up with Brandon Jr.'s new? Since his plea deal got nuked.
That's going to be interesting
Nothing yet.
to see.
Yeah, we're going to be ish.
Because
I hope something happens, but
they'll probably just drop it all.
I don't think so. And I'll tell you
we'll
what.
probably find out.
I'll tell you what. I mean, is there any doubt in anyone's mind that Trump is not going to be elected in 2024?
I have an
doubt.
an interesting perspective that we're not going to have an election in 24. They're going to suspend it.
On what constitutional grounds?
War.
We've already been through this, baby. They don't have to have a fucking grounds. That's why we're here.
The coup and masks. That's why.
Well, no, it's probably going to be conflict.
Russia, probably.
Okay, but and I'm ignorant in a lot of things, but I don't believe there's ever been an election that's ever been suspended because we were at war.
I don't think there is either, but I think that they're going to try and. I think that's their play. Just personally, that's my thought. So,
but there's no constitutional grounds to do that.
Right.
I mean, we've had elections during war.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Normally, the incumbent stays in office, gets reelected, but he can still only be there for 2 4-year terms. But but even if you go back to the Civil War, there's no election has been suspended because of a time of war, nor the Korean War, World War I, II, Vietnam, none of them.
No, I think they're gonna replace President Potato with somebody else and make sure that that person wins.
Yeah, I fear that but I still think they're going to suspend it.
But how are they going to do it? And if they try to suspend it and not have an election, do you not think this country the citizens would not go apeshit?
No, they won't.
I'm kind of I don't know what the hell they do anymore, to be honest, because we've been through so much bullshit at this point that it's like maybe they're just going to keep taking it. I don't know. So.
Well, that's a good point. I think a lot of things they've done is try to condition people just to take whatever the fucking government says to do.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
And I think COVID was the big test.
Yep.
Shut up, lock down, put a mask on, and stay a fuck in your house.
Yep.
Okay.
Now we made chat like potatoes, but. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to call it a night. Thank you so much for joining me, gentlemen. And
hey, thank you for having me on, Mighty.
Yeah, no problem, thank you, Mighty.
Yep. And we will see you all soon. Have a good night, everybody.